X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time.
Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? You feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep vaping with my mill, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You've seen now, watch me not now, punch your face now. Let me show you how.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome. It is so good to see all of you. Now, fair warning, before we get into the stream, and I'm gonna probably have to repeat this a few times just to make sure none of you guys, or most of you guys, don't get startled if it happens, but Seattle is about to be hit by, I believe the term is a cyclone. Basically a winter Pacific Ocean hurricane. And as a Florida man, I typically wouldn't be too worried about something that's going to come in with like 60, 65 miles an hour winds, right? Like, that's not all that scary. But it is going to get down to about 30 degrees, the power might go out, and the storm's supposed to hit in about 2 hours. So I will be live when that happens. So, it should be a post-cyclone, I think. Hopefully it breaks up and gets weak. It's expected to fuck up even the mountains out to the... I think that's behind me would be west or east. Record it? That would be cool. But yeah, little worried about that. That's a little worrying. Stream might get cut out if my power drops in the next 2 hours, or a little longer. Hopefully not. Hopefully I can get this stream done and we have absolutely no problems, but we should be okay. I think we should be okay. Yes, the Cascades. Welcome, everybody. It's so good to have you all here. God damn, 120 people already chilling right as I start the stream. You guys are awesome. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Zan's biggest meat rider? Good to see ya. Of course. Of course. Gotta keep my Mew streak going. I never fail to keep up my Mew streak. It's been going for a while now at this point. What's up, Moment of Sanity? Good to see ya. I hope you're doing well. What's up? Hey there, Trans Daughter of Water. TSW the Shadow Wolf. Myth Detrius 985, welcome. Redux, how you doing? 97.1k subs. We're actually pretty close to 97.2k subs, actually. Last I checked, we're like halfway there. Yeah, more than halfway there. We're at 97,152 subs. This stream, no doubt, will be hitting 97,200. I really want to thank you guys for the immense support you guys have been dropping. Some days, the YouTube algorithm, with the bug it's been having since about a month ago now, it doesn't really matter. There's not much you guys can do to help there. But on the days where it doesn't have an effect, we end up having some videos really blow up. And I really do appreciate you guys just dropping the massive, massive support. You guys have been popping off lately, and I really do appreciate it. The likes, the comments, subs especially. You guys have been dropping crazy amounts of subs. Sub growth has been crazy. I really do appreciate it. Welcome to anybody here who's new. I imagine it might be a few people's first stream here today, so I want to say welcome, and I really do hope you enjoy your time here. You know, I do my best to make... My streams aren't as long as most streamers, but I do my best to make them, while they may be shorter, more condensed with content. I don't have a lot of segments where I'm just sitting... There's not a point in my stream where I'm sitting there and eating, and, like, watching some, like, random shit and not saying anything like many political streamers might. First time catching you live. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $2 super chat. Really much appreciated. Said, Zan, I got a funny meme for you and chat. Well, go ahead and drop it in website chat for me. Yeah, welcome, newbies. Snacks are in the back. By the way, what's everybody drinking today? I just got myself some plain old water. Making sure I hydrate before I dihydrate. The other night, me and my friends were playing Valorant, and they all started drinking, and I was like, I hate liquor, but I think I've got some around here somewhere. And I do. I had 2 bottles of Bacardi that I haven't touched in a long time in the cabinet. And I attempted to waterfall that shit. And it did not go well. It did not feel good. I had not had Bacardi in a long, long while, and that shit just sticks to your mouth, dude. Is there any more of, like, a sticky, gooey, like, it gets stuck in your teeth? You know what I mean? It's like you take the shot, and then about 5 minutes later, you run your tongue over your molar, and you can taste, like, the residual liquor, like, in the cracks of your teeth. It's awful, dude. And then the burps. Oh my god, Bacardi burps. If that's not a thing that's already exists, that needs to have a name, because good lord. I was burping like crazy. What the fuck? Jaeger is worse? Probably. Not an alcohol guy, so I wouldn't know. Neither am I. I just wanted to join in. Get drunk with my friends playing Valorant, because I felt like it was unfair for me to be one sober person on the team and to nearly bottom frag every game, so I needed to get drunk as well, so I had an excuse to play like shit. Like, nah, I'd be top fragging right now if I wasn't drunk. Here's the meme. Thank you, One Piece. What is this? What did you send me? What is this? Voicing a universal amount of SpongeBob memes.
It's worse than we thought. He's taken over. Currently, in Russia, the average status has been undetermined by the military or those that wage the act of violence on the other side. But the Toyoshi at the moment, Zhao Su.
He's looting muttering in the store. Call Anime Man.
It's a lost child. Don't you think Anime Man is kind of overkill?
Excuse me, sir.
Listen, I don't know what kind of autism I have, but I can tell you what autism I don't have. And it's not this kind. Unfortunately. I enjoyed this shit so much when I was younger, though. This shit would have been so up my alley back when I was watching YouTube poops. Oh my god. Holy shit. Things I like now have to have, like, a somewhat dark twist. You see, one of my favorite shows is Rick and Morty, because as you guys might know, you have to have a pretty high IQ to enjoy the humor of Rick and Morty. Oh my god. Hey Perry Icefire, how you doing? I've seen you vape. Is it nicotine or something based? It's just nicotine. I used to vape the marijuanas, but for those that don't know, you can't be a gun owner and a stoner, even in states where both are legal, because both are not legal simultaneously, federally speaking. And so I had to quit weed before I could go and get a gun. And because I'm a gun guy, I can't be a weed guy. And so I'm a nicotine guy when I vape. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. It's sad, I do miss weed quite a lot, but nothing beats the rush and the feeling of accomplishment of tightening your groupings when you go to the range, because I save a lot of my targets, and so I'll look at them and I just have a general, like, I'll date them and stuff. I'll write down what day I went to the range, and you know, I'll keep them in, like, I keep them in a stack, and I've seen that my groupings get tighter and tighter and tighter every single range visit, and that is a special kind of, like, I guess you could call it a sort of high, you know? Hey Zan, just got another job at Samsung. I start tomorrow. Wish me luck. Hell yeah, shake and bake. Hope you have fun. Hope it goes well. Aside from your politics, you are John America. Well, I guess my politics are pretty John America, though, right? Like, I'm definitely pro-America. I just want America to be reformed substantially to make it stand up to or meet the expectations of the greatest country in the world. Because right now, America's more like a circus. Here in the superior country, Canada, you can own guns and weed at the same time. You just can't use guns while high. Well, listen, Canada's not in any way superior to America. It's America light, I'll have you know, alright? And the guns you can have are, like, very narrowly limited, and, like, an angry ex could basically lie and make you completely banned from ever owning a gun, right? Canada's gun laws are, in some areas, really good. In some areas, giga cringe. Also, Xanderhall, we saw a new kitty in the backyard, a small tabby. The floof one I showed you is still being super affectionate. We named the floof Charlie. Aw, it's so cute. I love cats. Xanderhall, are you going to cover America entering the new nuclear age video from Hank Green? I might, but not today. I've got a lot to cover today, but I might cover it tomorrow, assuming I've got power. I really hope that if my power goes out, it's back up by morning. I will fucking lose it if I have to survive 30-degree freezing raining weather with no power to, like, provide any heat. I might actually die. I would have to go, like, stay with a neighbor who has a fireplace or something. Hope my neighbors are really friendly. I'm not gonna say any country that got so many anti-trans laws while others don't is the greatest country in the world. Well, Moody, I don't know if you're aware, but most of the Western world is like way more right-wing than America right now. The Dems actually performed the best of any incumbent progressive party in any election this year. This year and the last year has been a massive shift right globally for most of the developed world when it comes to elections, like a substantial outcry of right-wing support from the working class, which really goes to show that there's been an effective sort of brainwashing that's taken place. I don't know if you guys have seen, but people are massively dropping mainstream news outlets, like MSNBC notably. There's some drama right now that MSNBC and New York Times in particular are heavily cucking to Trump. heavily cucking themselves out to Trump. And then, of course, we already know that the Washington Post has been cucked to Trump since before the election when they refused to endorse a candidate, specifically undoing their endorsement for Harris. Mike O'Moran, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, new MAGA conspiracy I saw. Biden is trying to start a war to prevent Trump from being inaugurated. That would go hard as fuck, honestly. I think we should have Emperor Biden, just to piss off the lefties who hate him. No other reason. Not even to trigger the Trump supporters, just to piss off the lefties who hate him. Genuinely, I'll be riding with Biden until I'm in my fucking grave. I'll be debating lefty anti-voting cuck boys in 10 years about how based Biden is. And Biden will still be alive in 10 years, mark my words. Riding with Biden. Alright. Hunter Biden 2028, so true! No, if Trump eliminates the existence of term limits, that is when Obama versus Trump gets to happen. That is the final showdown, dude. That's the final, ultimate showdown, would be Obama versus Trump. You couldn't live with your own failures. Wait, hold on. You couldn't live with your own failures. So where'd that bring you? Back to me. Plus, I can do an Obama impression better than anyone else. So if we get Obama back in office, I can actually do a good impression of the president. Now let me be clear. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. I gotta get my voice deeper. Because he can project himself very deeply and basally. And that's something that's like very, sort of, I guess, attractive about his voice. It's an enchanting factor to it that makes him such a good speaker and so compelling. But I don't have the ability to imitate that very easily. I get his, like, slight stutter down, though. That, let me be clear. Americans do not want to deal with paying overpriced rent for their homes. I feel like I can kind of get it. Dude, Obama versus Trump. Did all those white guys who said they would have voted for Obama for a third term get to prove it? I'm not racist. I would have voted for Obama for a third term if I could. All right, do it. Prove it. My voice is deeper than yours. I'm 17. Many such cases, Caleb. I got, like, every single... I basically got, like, an 8 or a 9, I'd say, on most areas of the genetic lottery, except for voice. I got genuinely fucked when it comes to my voice. Biden and Obama are the same... Are some of the hottest presidents we've ever had? No, I wouldn't say Biden would fall into that category. I like your voice. Well, you guys have probably gotten used to it. You look 25, but don't sound 25? Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe around 30, my voice will just fucking drop, dude. To be fair, most dudes end up having their voice drop again pretty late, around like 28 or 30, so maybe around then my voice will get really, at least a little bit deeper. I feel like if my voice was 5 to 10% deeper, it'd be fine, it'd be perfect. I'm just slightly too high for my liking. And so if it gets even a little deeper when I get older, I'll be happy. With votes being counted, Trump won the popular vote, but both Trump and Harris didn't even get 50% of the total votes casted. Both Trump and Harris didn't even get 50% of the total votes casted. No, I assure you there's not only half of the votes counted, Delancer. That can't be true. Hey Zan, what do you think of the lefty shorts creator Woke Karen? I have not seen their stuff. Hey, Zan, chat, Linda McMahon is going to be part of the Department of Education. She is the wife of Vince McMahon, former owner of the WWE. Yeah, we're oh man. Whew! We're in for some stuff, guys. Pepper T21, thank you for the $5 donation. How kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Said, is Kyle Kalinske cringe? I was under the impression he was a tanky, but I know nothing other than Walsh just collabed with him, also a meme. Well, here's the thing. Kyle Kalinske, I actually really like as a person. Like, I think Kyle Kalinske is actually, like, a chill dude who I would absolutely be friends with, and he seems, like, genuinely funny and, like, a cool dude. I genuinely have absolutely no hang-ups about Kyle Kalinske as a person. He is not a bad guy from what I can tell. And I've got a good, like, asshole radar. He does not set off my asshole radar. Here's the thing, though. He's a little bit more populist than I think is healthy. And what I mean by that is that I think his populist politics, more often than not, lead him to some pretty counterintuitive messaging. Something that's been lauded as, like, a default good thing for progressive content creators to do is to hold Democrats accountable. Now, the way I think of that is like protesting, like actually going out and marching, because you need Dems in power to go out and protest effectively, for one, if you don't want to be brutalized by the police or National Guard, because Republican presidents, especially Trump, will call in extreme violence on protesters he doesn't like. And then on top of that, what are you protesting for? You're basically screaming into the void. Republicans will not see a protest by the opposing group and see that as a reason to change their shit up. They won't see it as anything other than something to attack and demonize and polarize their base against into voting for them even harder. Protest is damn near useless with conservatives in power. And so I like protesting when Dems are in power, but for most progressive content creators, holding the Dems to account, quote unquote, usually just is nonstop only covering negative things about them, heavily poisoning the well against the Dem candidate and the Dem party in general in your audience. Obviously, a lot of these figures do this. And even if Hassan, Walsh, Kyle Kalinske, all in the end do tell their fans to vote for the Dem nominee, when you spend months or even years calling them, in the case of Biden, a genocide denier, Kamala Harris, or in the case of, like, even going back to Obama, there were a lot of progressives who did this, where they, in 2012, constantly accused him of being a massive war hawk, which wasn't even true. It's just, there is this tendency to poison the well against our candidate, our party, and then to question why there is not a strong cohesion between voters, speakers, and politicians within this party. And these progressive figures will oftentimes blame the party, saying, oh, it's because they won't appeal to us. And it's like, well, they are appealing to you. 100% of the issues related to domestic policy here in America that they push for, you agree with. You are purity testing them. You guys remember how when the woke scold thing was massive, we called out purity testing because it was pointless and stupid. If someone agrees with us on most things and on every relevant issue of today, has the same ideals as us and the same goals as us, why would we attack them? Why would we push them away or try to purity test them? It's fucking cringe, dude. Regardless. Thank you for the $5, Pepper T21. What is this meme? Let's see this.
When I...
Baron Harkonnen Trump 2. There is a sequel to the Baron Harkonnen Trump video. Amazing. Thank you for this. I appreciate it. Let's watch this.
took control of Arrakis, spice production reached a level like never ever before. People were crying. They were so happy. Let me tell you, folks, even the Fremen were crying. Even the Fremen. And these are folks who never cry in their entire lives. Perhaps when they're babies, but probably not even then. And they were all crying. They were all in tears. Except one of them wasn't crying, and I was like, what's your problem? But we love the Fremen, don't we, folks? We love the Fremen, except for the ones south of the border. I think we kind of hate them. And their leader, Sleepy Stilgar. That's what I call him, Sleepy Stilgar. They're worshipping Muad'Dib. You like that? Maldives. Don't even get me started on pesky Paul Atreides. And he's running around Arrakis with a Fremen pet, and her name is Chani. Sounds a lot like China, doesn't it? Sounds a lot like China. Almost smelled the same. When I took control of Arrakis.
Arrakis. It's a very good video, and I will give it a like. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You cooked with that one. Let me update the dono goal really fast, but as I've said before, and I want to remind you, as much as I appreciate any financial support you guys send, it really does help to keep the lights on, the roof above my head, and all that stuff. Although it might not help me to keep the lights on if my power gets knocked out by a fucking cyclone in an hour or two. But outside of that, it really does help. But I do want to say it does not necessarily do anything to get the streams, the content, or the channel in front of new people. And so if you don't want to donate, if you can't afford it, or you just want to help the channel get in front of new people's, attention, you don't even need to, dip into your own funds. For completely free, you can just hit the like button on the stream and like and comment on new videos. That actually helps immensely. And I really do appreciate it. And remember, it's totally free. So thank you to everybody who hits that like button on the stream. It means a ton to me. Thank you. We like and comment on everything here. The cyclone is coming. The cyclone is coming. All right. Let me figure out what we're going to start with today. Just bringing up the relevant stuff for this segment. Sorry if I am silent for a moment. I have a hard time. Here it is. I have a hard time multitasking when I'm typing. All right, everybody. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Normal people are leaving Twitter, or X, and they are migrating to Blue Sky. Elon Musk has absolutely ruined Twitter. He has destroyed it, or X. I'm just going to call it Twitter. He's ruined it. Nobody wants to spend time there anymore. Even if you're centrist or perhaps even a little right-leaning, if you don't like having pro-Trump propaganda shoved down your throat 24/7, even after the election, keyword especially after the election, then you're going to find Twitter an inescapably hellish place now. So across the board, we're seeing a mass exodus from Twitter. And where are they going? Well, they're going to the original creator of Twitter's new platform, Blue Sky. I do have a Blue Sky account, by the way. Let me check what it's called really fast. It's xanderhall.bluesky.social. There should be a link in the description of the stream and my videos. If there's not, I'll add it. So yeah, go follow me on Blue Sky. Apparently I already have nearly 2,000 followers on there. Holy crap, I've posted like 3 things. What the heck? Oh, good job, guys. Thank you. Follow me on Blue Sky, I guess. But people are leaving Twitter, and frankly, I could not be happier to see it. I really do hope that outside of using Twitter to gain control of the government, this purchase ends up being a massive loss for him. The ex-Twitter exodus to Blue Sky explained, by Forbes, of all places. X, the site formerly known as Twitter, has been bleeding users and advertisers since Elon Musk took over the site and made many unpopular changes. Excuse me. The slow migration has exploded into an exodus to Blue Sky, a competing microblogging platform that now boasts 20 million users. To give you an idea, it jumped from like a few million to 20 million since the election results came out. With a large number of celebrities and news publishers leading the way. I will say as well, one of the big reasons why I've fully dropped Twitter and have no reason to use it anymore and I'm fully on Blue Sky now, is the Hightail devs all went to Blue Sky. And they all deactivated their Twitters. When the devs of the most anticipated game, one of the most anticipated games ever, but certainly my most anticipated game, are dropping Twitter and moving to Blue Sky, you know that's where it's actually popping off. It's not just like a political thing to leave the site. Like, the site's just genuinely gotten so unusably bad. It's not the site anymore. It's not the it thing like it used to be. It's going to die off. It's going to be seen as the next boomer slot platform, just like Facebook became. Blue Sky is essentially a Twitter clone founded by former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, who has since cut ties with the company. Blue Sky is currently run by software engineer Jay Graber. As a text-based social media site, Blue Sky offers an almost identical experience to Twitter, but with a few interesting tweaks, such as giving users far greater control over what they see on their timeline with customized feeds. This is actually a really useful feature, and I love it. You can literally just, like, subscribe to feeds that you're interested in, or that your friends are interested in. So using Hightail as an example, there's a bunch of Hightail related feeds on Blue Sky. I've followed those. And so now I can just like click on that and see every Hightail related thing on that particular feed. If I have like a it's super cool. You can have a politics news related feed and you just look through nothing but politics related news. It's so sick, dude. It kind of steers away from what a lot of big tech platforms have tried to do, which is sort of streamline every user into like just watching the same popular content. Like if YouTube could have it their way, everyone would just be watching Mr. Beast. Everyone would just be watching Jake Paul and Logan Paul. No one would be wasting their time watching smaller creators with less than like 50 million subscribers. There'd be less money they'd have to pay to individual people, and they'd be able to make more money off of ads sold on that content. And so because of that, Twitter and a lot of social media platforms boost the most clickable content, and they want everyone to see it. They push it on everyone instead of the more personalized algorithms that used to be the norm years and years ago. Several Hollywood celebrities have since moved to Blue Sky, such as Stephen King, Jamie Lee Curtis, Lily Wachowski, Guillermo del Toro, Ben Stiller, Lizzo, Mara Wilson, George Takei, Quinta Brunson, Mark Hamill, and Weird Al Yankovic. The opportunity to interact with real celebrities once made Twitter stand out from the competition, but it's unclear if Hollywood's finest still wield the same clout today. The internet has changed a lot in the last decade, and so has the public perception of celebrities. Yeah, I wonder if, like, there's also the factor that the site being smaller now, like, my buddy Ethan had his reply to one of the Terraria. The Terraria creator is on Blue Sky now. The creator of Terraria, Redigit? I don't know how his name is pronounced. But he tweeted a picture of his dog, and my buddy Ethan /editor replied to it, and the creator of Terraria liked his tweet. And it was just like, no way. It was such a cool feeling. Because the site's still somewhat small. I know it's 20 million users, but it's still growing. And so all these big figures jumping over, it means that you've got a much higher chance of actually engaging with these large public figures like on the site, rather than it being like you as one of 5 or 10,000 replies in a sea of bots. Influencers from outside the entertainment industry have proved to be talented, intuitive content creators, able to attract huge dedicated followings without the help of Hollywood. Indeed, some ex-users have joked that the site will only improve as the celebrities leave. Of course, I'm sure they are not coping right now. In fact, the right online are so not coping right now that, do you know what they're doing? They're going to Blue Sky. This is probably one of the most notable examples. The Quartering has made a Blue Sky account. Obviously, he's gaining very few followers, which is hilarious. Just looking at how little engagement he gets is hilarious. Hi, triggered libs. Hello, haters. tons of conservatives making accounts, and of course getting banned, off of Blue Sky, trying to chase the normal people, and particularly the lefties, to Blue Sky to fuck with them. Now, I've talked about this a lot, but there's nothing about progressive politics that necessitates or mandates an obsession or a desire to fuck with conservatives, right? Like, most progressives seek out the ability to create spaces in which they never have to engage with conservatives. Now, conservatives frame this as being in an echo chamber, afraid to debate your ideas, but most progressives are not out there looking to debate their ideas. The ones who are, trust me, these people won't debate. But with these conservatives, they always need to seek out progressives. They don't want to be left alone. They love to victimize themselves and claim that they're the ones who are just trying to live their lives, be left alone. They just want to do what they want to do, enjoy what they want to enjoy. But nonetheless, more often than not, they're constantly chasing down lefties and normal people on other platforms and in private discords and their chats and their streams and trying to fuck with them. A particular tenet of conservative politics is to fuck with progressives. And not only that, but to delight in nothing more than the suffering and the unhappiness of progressives. It's very crucial to their politics, but it's something that we don't share. We don't need the right to be there and moulding for the left to have, like, an existence. Why are ex-Twitter users fleeing the site, though? X has undergone hugely consequential changes under the ownership of Elon Musk. One of the most controversial has been the watering down of the block function. This change is awful. Frankly, I don't even want to see tweets from people that I've blocked, and now you do. It's like, okay, so now people who have me blocked, I see their tweets on my timeline. I don't even want to see the tweets from people that blocked me. Like, why? It just sucks now. There's no reason to use Twitter anymore. No matter who you are. Especially if you're just someone who doesn't want to get, like, stalked, online. You don't want to use Twitter anymore. What would you do if Martha Stewart smacked you in the back of the head while you were sitting on a train? I think I'd have to yell, equal rights, equal lefts, and then do something crazy. Make myself famous. Critics have argued that the change will lead to harassment and embolden stalkers. Just what I just said. But blocking is just the latest in a long line of unpopular changes. Twitter's blue check marks were once a stamp of authenticity, but were changed from a verification tool to a paid subscription, with paid subscribers now algorithmically boosted. Their replies automatically placed in the top row of comments, regardless of how inane or dull they may be. Content moderation on X has still all but disappeared, and bigotry has become exceedingly common. The culture on the site is now closer to 4chan than older Twitter. Bots of all kinds now flood the site, posting content, clogging the comments with porn and meaningless ChatGPT drivel. Here's an example that got 111,000 likes. Dude, I opened a discussing film post on Blue Sky and was genuinely flabbergasted that I wasn't immediately met with 50 bot replies. There were actually real people— oh, this isn't a bot tweet. There were actually real people in there saying things relevant to the post they were replying to. Yeah, people are taking, even just the chance with Blue Sky, and posts on Twitter about Blue Sky being better are getting over 100,000 likes. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad for Twitter. Damn. The normies are done with how awful the site has gotten. And I'm not even talking about the political drivel, just the bots everywhere. I've seen a bunch of videos lately as well talking about how Twitter is literally just the dead internet theory, 100% true in reality in front of us. Half or more of what we see posted on Twitter on a daily basis is very clearly posted by bots. Is Twitter really dying, though? Yes and no. Well, yes, but actually no. Despite Twitter's ever-increasing hostility to users, the site once known as Twitter is still in a cultural hotbed of discourse. The terrible toxicity seems integral to the site's addictiveness, each swipe of the app like inhaling a strong cigarette or gulping a shot of absinthe. Dedicated users can't seem to stop logging in. Even before Musk's takeover, Twitter was a pretty toxic place, a deranged arena of sharp tongues and misinterpreted sentences that regularly sparked absurd conversations and controversies. That is true, but back then, it was more lighthearted. Now it's a lot more cold and I don't know. I feel like there can only be so many more of these, right? Before it's like, okay, yeah, Twitter's fucked, you know? Like, how many times can Twitter have a mass exodus of users before there's nothing but bots left? How long can the site coast off of nothing but bots? Even watching Musk fiddle with the site's engine in real time can be entertaining, like watching a train slowly detach from its tracks, sure to crash, to crumple into a heap of molten metal at any point. The peak of Twitter isn't an easy thing to recreate. The site has been fermenting in memes for years, and it has always given a disproportionate amount of attention from journalists and content creators. X's cultural power is diminishing, but it hasn't gone away entirely. Perhaps it never will. There are still gemstones hiding in the dirt for those willing to get their hands dirty. Blue Sky still has a long way to go before it can build up the unique culture that once made Twitter such a powerhouse. And there's no guarantee that a microblogging site will ever have that kind of influence again. Plus, Blue Sky has plenty of competition. Threads and Mastodon are Twitter clones too, but with their own benefits and drawbacks. While YouTube and TikTok are leading the pack, defining the current internet era as video-based rather than text-based, for the time being, Blue Sky is a fairly peaceful oasis, away from the slow-motion car crash that is X. We'll see if the site can be the next Twitter or carve out a new identity entirely. I think the fact that the right is now desperately chasing progressives over to Blue Sky to troll them is a pretty good sign of the fact that Twitter is dying for real, and Blue Sky is hoovering up a lot of users. This actually kind of ties into that video I made a little while ago. Their families and friends hate them now. It blew up. It was just me going over some stories about conservatives who have had meltdowns over the fact that their friends and families are cutting them off after they voted for Trump. They don't like that Trump won. They don't like that their friend voted for Trump and they're getting cut off. Some cases it's even family. And it's a bunch of conservatives melting down about it. The video blew up. And I think the reason that video blew up is because a lot of progressives have felt the sentiment and didn't know exactly how to put it into words, but I did in that video. And the sentiment is, they want us in their lives. They want us around them. They want us to want to be around them, but they do not want to respect us. They do not want to be polite or have any manners towards us, and they don't even want to treat us like humans or have any regard for our opinion. They want us around for no other reason than to attack, and then when we choose to not be around them anymore, when we choose to make our own spaces, they melt down. And I think a lot of progressives have felt this, and they've been very frustrated by it because the right loves to lie and say they just want to be left alone, they just want to do their thing, they just want to escape the woke mob. And it's so blatantly disingenuous that when you're a progressive and you hear someone just say it how it is, it's an attractive thing. And I think it's a big reason why that video got so big in just a couple days. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like. Every single thumbs up, whether it be on my live stream right at this moment or after the fact on my video when it goes up on its own, really does help to boost my stuff in the algorithm and ensure that it gets out into new people's eyes. Same goes for comments as well. Liking and commenting is huge. It helps immensely. Thank you to everybody who does that, seriously. And of course, don't forget, if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And don't forget to follow my social medias, linked down below in the description, including, of course, my Blue Sky. And, of course, do not forget to join my fan Discord as well. It is totally free to join. It is the main hub of my fan base and community. And on top of that, once a week, at least once a week on Fridays, I host gaming events, call-in streams, or watch parties in my Discord. So if you want to be a part of like community events like that, where you get to hang out with me and do fun stuff, then join the Discord server. It's great. And finally, if you want to support me directly and you can afford it and you feel like it, consider supporting me financially by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch, the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. How'd y'all like that segment? I feel like it came out really good. I'm so used to mainly watching videos. Whenever you do the end card, my mind goes to the next video, even though this is live. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I always drop it like a few dozen viewers whenever I do my outro, because people think the stream is either ending, or they forget they're watching a stream and not a video. So that's always funny. Let me just mark that off on the scroll, because for those of you guys that don't know, I keep all my topics written on a scroll. Dude, why is like the tip of my nose so itchy? It's right here. This little spot, right here on the tip of my nose. Sometimes it's a little down here, but it's mostly up here. I think it's dry skin. It's a little frustrating. It's like a tickly itch. Alrighty. Where do you get your scrolls? Amazon. I thought it was ending because this is the first time I was here during a segment like that. Oh, it's all good for Micah. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I do see that we've got a lot of people here right now, so it doesn't surprise me if there's quite a few new people watching. Now, if you're over in YouTube right now, if you're watching the stream on YouTube, you might notice that there is a chat on screen that is not the chat you're in. Your messages don't show up here if you're on YouTube. That is because I am not streaming on Twitch right now. I am embedding my stream on my own website, xanderhall.com/live, where I have a custom chat where everyone can make their own account and pick their own name. And we've got like a subsystem where people get different colored names and little badges based on what like subscription they get. We have custom emotes and whatnot, so everyone type your favorite emote in website chat. And it's got different rules, too, because YouTube's moderation of chat is different than my site has to be. So it's a little looser over here. Generally, it's the better chat. Not to mention your messages actually appear on screen. I read your messages far more, and they get to be immortalized in segments because they're on screen the whole time. So I highly recommend you check out the website. You make an account. You start hanging out in website chat. It is the real chat. I highly recommend it. If you're wondering how you can get there, there is a link right there on the top right. If you click that little like pinned comment at the top of the chat, you can click that and there'll be a link to the website. I'm on my phone, so YouTube is easier. Let me know when your website gets an app, lol. I heard something about it having an app, but I don't know if it's official. I heard somebody was watching the stream on mobile with an app. I didn't know if that was like a real thing or not, though. Understandable, though. Bailey B. It works fine on mobile? Okay. Certain phones might not work as well. That's the thing. Zan, your site works fine on mobile? Maybe not on every phone, though. That's the thing, though. Some people might have some older phones. Why are they moving to Blue Sky? They got X Rumble. I have the stream open on YouTube while I have site chat on browser based. I like watching on YouTube to keep the viewer high over here and possibly have new people find it. It's the same. It doesn't affect the viewer count. Like, the stream, embedded stream viewers still count. Unless they don't. If they didn't, that'd be crazy. If they didn't count, I could have like 500 or 600 people watching now, and I just wouldn't know. I'm pretty sure they still count, even if they're watching an embedded stream on my site. They've got to. They gotta. Yeah, they do. They totally do. Oh yeah, we got to come up with a title for that segment. Unfortunately, I don't know if the abusive exes want us back is the best title, but I do want to make a title similar to that "Their friends and family hate them now" video. That title popped off for sure. People click the fuck out of that. So we definitely want to model future titles around that. Xander Hall, I'm on vacation in El Salvador and I don't have caller data here or caller data there. Interesting, Cute Bunny 20. Only on here because I'm working on a video. I'll hop onto the site when I'm done. No problem, Moment of Sanity. Welcome to the site, Jaren. Alright. Pepper T21, thank you for the $5 reduce. I really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Says, thanks, I was genuinely confused. Anyway, good news. I'm getting back to streaming. Perry and I are going to play the Death Note Among Us style game on stream. So if I'm on stream, L or Kira, either way, I'm gay. Nice. Either way, you'd be gay. Pepper T21, thank you again as well for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Just sent a link and nothing else. What's this?
You know, some people...
Baron Harkonnen Trump 3. There's a third one, of course. Great. Here, let me update the dono goal really fast, and then we will watch Baron Harkonnen Trump 3. Why not? Why not? Fuck it, dude. Why the hell not?
People claim that I hate the Fremen. Not true. Not true. Just compare me to Pussy Paul Atreides. Pussy Paul, what's the first thing he does when he runs into the Fremen? Kill a black man. Walks right up and kills a black man. First thing he does. It's his favorite thing to do. And of course, Crooked Jessica. You know, I do like Jessica a lot. You know what I always say? If she weren't my granddaughter, perhaps I'd even be dating her. But she's got a weird baby. She's got a weird baby. Her baby's weird. There's just no other way of saying it. Little baby Alia, or little baby Failure, as many folks have been calling her. Many people, mostly me. Can you imagine how bad pesky Paul and Crooked Hillary, I mean Jessica, must smell after no water, no shower? I don't need to see the future. I can smell them on their way here. Will somebody hand me the whoopee cushion? Hey, look, it's Paul. You know, some people...
That's insane. Mr. Krabs, thank you for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. Says I got another meme for you and chat. Dutch, I got another meme I wanted to show you. Sure. Send it my way. Here's the meme. Carl Weezer meets Arthur Morgan. Wow, it was a Red Dead reference.
Oh, Jimmy!
What did you say your name was again?
Hi, Mr. Morgan. My name is Carl Weezer. Hi, how are you?
You look like a rat to me, Jimmy.
I'm slightly less better after having listened to you. What the hell's wrong with you, boy?
Well, some people say that I'm a little Zoftic. I do have a little weight problem, and I am particularly predisposed to liking llamas. Do you like llamas, Mr. Morgan?
Well, they taste pretty good the few times I've had them. Anyways, you owe me money, son.
I do. What, wait a minute. Hold it. Hold the phone.
I heard from my business partner, Harry Strauss. Now, you owe me a bit of money, and we gotta sort this out now.
Well, wait a minute. Have you ever killed a man?
Well... Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. That's for you to find out soon enough, son. Now, do you have the money or not?
Well, I don't know how much you need.
Okay, we gotta stop this. I'm sorry. It's a little too much. Thank you. I appreciate it, though, Mr. Krabs. I appreciate it. I had to veto that video. It was getting to be too much. All right, let me bring up the next segment. Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. Gotta title that segment and send it. Almost forgot. Oh, I've got an amazing segment idea, guys. Oh, shit. Ooh, I've got a really good title idea. Oh, man. They are begging us to stay on Twitter. Oh, better, Elon's Twitter. They are begging us to stay on Elon's Twitter. That cooks. Ooh, solid title. Solid goddamn title, if I do say so myself. Hot damn. I think that video is gonna pop off if the YouTube algorithm doesn't decide to butt fuck it. Or I should say skull fuck it. That's probably more descriptive and more accurate. Just throw a bed sheet over its head and proceed to skull fuck it. Anyone who gets that reference, you're OG. Jaren, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, or not super chat, donation. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Said, just a quick Matt Gaetz meme I photoshopped. I barely had to do much, lol. Alright, let's check this out. Source image is unreachable. Well, I have bad news, Jaren. The source image is unreachable. If you want to repost it, the link in chat, then that might be... Actually, this might work. If I copy the HT, because you didn't put a space, maybe this will... No, it's still unreadable. Yeah, you would have to post You would have to repost the link. I don't know why it's not working, but it's broken, Jaren. I don't know why. Thank you for the $10, though. I do appreciate it. Let me update the dono goal really fast, and then I'm actually going to use the restroom and grab myself a Monster Energy because I want to boost myself up, get nice and awake. I am trying to get these segments done a little faster than I normally would because in a matter of, like, 30 minutes to an hour, there's supposed to be, like, 60-mile-an-hour winds hitting and, like, harsh rain at freezing rain as the temperature drops to around 30, and there's a chance the power goes out. So not only am I going to be in the dark and the cold, but my stream will get cut off. So I don't want the segments to get stopped sending. I don't want us to run out of time. So I'm trying to be pretty efficient here. Really quick, though, I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. I've got a lot of great content left for you guys this stream, so buckle up. We got some good stuff to cover today. Stick around. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. I also went ahead and decided to close my window because it's actually starting to drop temperature-wise pretty quickly as that storm gets closer, and I'm scared. I'm actually curious, how bad is my area supposed to get hit? Let me check something. I'm obviously not going to show my screen because I want to dox myself, but Seattle weather radar. Show me that radar. That's what I want to see, the AccuWeather radar. Yeah, that's how I track the hurricanes down in Florida. Where is the fucking at? Is there no fucking? Do I have to zoom in to see the fucking that's coming? Are we good? Rain's starting in 19 minutes. It is 45 degrees outside in Seattle, but it feels like 43. The wind right now is at 5 miles an hour with 15-mile-an-hour gusts. Interesting. Wind advisory. Is there now? A wind advisory. That's interesting. I wonder why. Start at 2 p.m. Tuesday, November 19th. Ends at 4 a.m. Wednesday, November 20th. It's gonna be all fucking night, bro. I'm malding. Wind advisory everywhere. Yeah, I'm definitely in that zone. Oh my god, that is a big zone. It is not even... I don't even think I could dox myself by saying, yeah, guys, I'm in this area that's going to be affected by the wind advisory, because, good god, that's all... That's everything! That's everything along the Puget Sound! And Lake Washington, too. Like, it goes inland. Holy shit. Dude, even Jeff Bezos' house on Mercer Island's gonna get fucked up. by this thing. Oh, man. Oh, jeez, man. Listen, Seattle's got a decent amount of... There's, like, mountains that this shit has to go through before it gets to me, okay? There's mountains this shit has to go through before it gets to me. Maybe we'll be okay. I hate storms that knock out the power. I hate them. I need to get a fucking generator. Chat, someone donate to me, like, I don't know, how much does a generator cost? Let me look up how much a gasoline generator costs. Gasoline generator. Can't be that expensive, right? Oh, wow, that's actually... I'm not gonna lie, if I had to guess, I would have said, like, oh, yeah, like $1,500 starting price. Turns out, like, $400 is the starting price, but if you want to get, like, a giga dope generator, you gotta drop a full $1,500 like I would have guessed. Damn. Man. Unfortunate. Definitely can't afford a fucking generator. FEMA will reimburse you for a generator up to $500. Wait, really? Zan, mute, please. My mewing form isn't as good when I haven't shaved. Look how scruffed up I am. You guys can barely see my jawline under all this. You know you like it, Perry Icefire. Chill out. You know you like when I mog the chat. Julas, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Says, have you tried the Crumpet Shop and Locust Cider House? Those are two places I love visiting whenever I fly up to Seattle. I haven't been to those places, but maybe I'll check it out. The Crumpet Shop and Locust Cider House. Thank you for the recommendations, Julas. I appreciate it. All right. Alright, gamers, let me crack this monster open. Are you LGBTQ? No, I'm actually a straight white male who is also cis, aka I was born a guy and I still am a guy. And I like being a guy. Hey Zan, what video are you the most proud of? I would honestly say probably my how I left the alt-right pipeline video. That one, I recently found out hit over 1 million subs. I had no clue. I don't know how no one told me that I had a video on my channel that's gotten over 1 million, not subs, views. I had no fucking clue. Last time I checked on that video and looked at its view count, it had like 600K, and that was like years ago. Now it's at over 1 million views. I had no clue. It's at like 1,025,000 views now. Or like more by now at this point. Base, Skyfall, so true. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Welcome to the most based and true-pilled community in all of the political streaming sphere. Soon everybody will realize it and everybody will join, but for now, we are still a budding movement, okay? I'm a certified Obama hater. Get out of here, Astro Argello. We do not accept Obama hate here. Now, hold on. Gotta lock in. Now let me tell you. If you're an Obama hater, you can get the hell out. God, I used to be able to do a way better Obama impression when he was actually president, but we're gonna get him back, and I'm gonna hear him talking all the time, and I'm gonna lock it in. Jesus Christ, TSW Shadow Wolf. Nice Bill Clinton impression. Wait, wouldn't Bill Clinton be like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman? Hold on, I gotta... Woman. He has this, like, vocal fry to him I can't do. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do Clinton's voice. I can't hit it. I can't sound like a dying Southerner, exactly. I have not vaped or smoked enough, clearly. Gotta smoke a pack a day to achieve that one, Zan? Yeah. Can you do RFK Jr.? For the exact same reason I can't do Bill Clinton, I can't do RFK Jr. He is, like, really, like, he's the goddamn, like, he's a drogger, okay? By the way, Osama bin Laden had a video saved called Funny Cats 4. Yeah, I'm aware of it. I do have some pretty big meat riders. Ninetails Fox 2. It's quite surprising that how many meat riders I have. Okay, one moment. Allow me to get the next segment ready. Oh boy, is it gonna be a good one. I've got some good content for y'all today. Consider hitting that like button, by the way, if you haven't already. Every thumbs up helps the channel a ton. In real time, mind you. Like, the second you hit the like button, YouTube responds in kind. God, my nose, it won't stop itching, though. I hate it. All right. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Right-wing influencers like The Quartering are some of the lowest bar content creators on this entire platform. They put in very little effort compared to the amount of success they experience for their work. And so I think it's clear that the left, if we're going to have any real chance of countering this messaging in the future, especially when people like The Quartering refuse to debate or allow themselves to be made a fool of in a one-on-one conversation. He learned that lesson with Destiny a while ago. You have to fight fire with fire. I don't know if you've ever watched a Quartering video, but these are awful. He really is low-effort content. If I have covered a lot of this stuff, and I try not to cover him too regularly because his videos are truly so boring and so lacking in any real argument besides being an echo chamber for conservative, like, circle jerking, that there's not much to talk about other than sort of on a meta level analyzing the content and why it succeeds. And that's kind of what I want to do here today. But the main focus I want it to have is that right-wing content creators, if you're a right-wing content viewer, they hate you. You are nothing but a paycheck to them. They do not like you. They do not care about you. They actively convince you to support things that are opposed to your best interests, and they know it. The Quartering, in fact, has many times made it a running joke in his channel that say when Brie Larson says, like, sneezes or whatever, he's going to make so much money off of it, he'll be able to buy an in-ground pool. That was like a joke he did before one of his Brie Larson videos back in the day, I remember. He's kind of owned up to the fact that he's just a grifter who does nothing of this because of actual genuine desire to make the world better or to spread his ideas because he thinks that's good for the world, but just to make money. And he's very open about it. It's not like a secret. He wouldn't even deny it. When The Quartering is made a fool of, in fact, he simply falls back on, well, at least I made a bunch of money, that's all I care about. Because if he genuinely cares about this stuff, well, that's kind of sad. The only real defense is that he's a grifter, and if that's the case, then why would you support this guy? Anyway, he's been really pumping out the content lately. What's he been up to? Fight erupts at Trump Mar-a-Lago as Elon locates mole in cabinet as Democrats are up to no good. Joe Rogan torches woke Kamala Harris and Obama while making huge reveal. Trump just won. No longer a felon. Corrupt judge... Wait, no longer a felon? Corrupt Judge Merchant in NYC adjourned sentencing. Full-blown panic. Okay, I really want to watch this one because he literally lies in the title that Trump is no longer a felon. Let's check this out. $1.8 million subs with only 24K views per video. He's beyond cooked. Wait, The Quartering? No, he's still pulling like 100,000 views on most videos. But yeah, I will say, I do think a lot of these right-wing grift YouTubers, now that they feel like they've won, I feel like they're gonna start falling apart. You know, the audiences feel like they've beat the woke. What is the point in continuing to support these figures if the woke has been defeated? You know, Trump's win is going to be much worse for the right-wing media sphere online than anyone else. This is in fact a time where progressive media needs to take advantage of discontent with these results to blow up and build an unassailable stronghold. We need to be able to actually compete and contend with the right wing's domination of the internet in 2028 and or 2026 and 2028. We have to. Internet culture war shit now decides elections to an extent. That's a good point, Sam. The grift only continues when they can pretend they're persecuted. The grift is only effective when they can pretend they're persecuted. Now that they feel like they're winning, why would you watch content that's all about circle jerking over what victims you are? They're on the upside right now. Them making videos celebrating about Trump's wins don't really do as well as gloating about how upset the libs are. That's pretty much all they have to go off of now, is to basically deflect for Trump and focus on how triggered the libs are for like the next 4 years, and that content's gonna get so stale. Holy shit. I agree, but let's be honest, Zan, that requires the left getting along for more than 2 seconds. No, it doesn't. No, not really. No, I actually don't think it does. There is nothing that I think the left needs to change other than figures that are reasonable and not cucked like Hassan. You know, because Hassan is cucked. People like me, people like Shark300, people like Dylan Burns need to start heavily encouraging audiences to drop as much support as possible, put our pedals to the metal, and work harder than we ever have before, expand what we've got going on beyond ourselves as much as possible, reinvest money into improving the content, and basically just, like, half the work is in the hands of the creators, the other half is in the hands of, yeah, Westside Tyler's pretty base too. I genuinely think there's just a list of pretty not cringe creators that need to, including myself, because I'm not cringe, need to put our pedals to the metal and just grind. Like, I think that over time, we're going to end up outgrowing people like Hassan, because Hassan's already bleeding followers, and I think people are going to gravitate to the more reasonable voices. And I think the more reasonable voices on the left will be made more evident over time. We'll always have the issues where, like, people like Bana Panada and Mike from PA, these really hyper deranged, hyper niche, tanky figures will always be around, and they'll always have an audience. They'll always be a cancer on the left. But our job needs to be to make sure no one normal on the left ends up getting pulled into the horseshoe, the horseshoe part of the left, you know, that curves back around towards basically fascism. Okay, I don't care about. Wait, is this real? Is the first 30 seconds of this video not even him talking? That the first 50 seconds of this video isn't even him talking. It's just text on screen. Jesus Christ. He's wearing his meme war veteran hat, though. Isn't that great?
Just keeps winning. That's right. Corrupt, in my opinion. Judge Merchan has now adjourned Trump's November 26th sentencing for his 34 bologna sausage criminal charges. They lost again. I'm just going to give you a second to leave a like on this video because
it's so shameless, man. They really do just hate you. And you can tell how upset he is that, like, they are entering an era where there's not going to be a lot of impetus to watch his content. You can tell he's molding big time about it, and that he's going to have to just continuously make up stories about how Trump is winning. But no one wants to see these stories about how Trump is winning. They already think Trump is winning. Trump is winning by a default. What they want is to feel like they're victimized. They want to, like, something that helps them with their circle jerk. But this doesn't really work. Man, I do hope by the next election the quartering has completely fallen off. That would be a massive upgrade for the internet. Also, if you notice, the Chuds are still trying to attack the Sonic community even after a month has passed, and they are digging themselves even deeper. Yeah, a lot of people have been getting tired of this stuff even before the election results came out. Like, the anti-woke grift stuff is just completely losing its luster, losing its fire. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I just remembered that the quartering doesn't say a single thing of value in any of his videos. Also, Trump is still a felon. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, once you're a felon, that doesn't change. Like, once a felon, always a felon, right? I think you can appeal to have, like, certain rights returned to you. But once you've been found guilty of a felony, which he was, you are a felon, and that doesn't go away. That's just forever. Is this just another situation? I'm going to cover it tomorrow, but is this just more of that tendency with Andrew Tate? For those who don't know, the judge found an issue in the prosecutor's case against the Tate brothers, and so the case will be dropped in a week if the prosecutors don't amend it due to some inadmissible evidence or something like that. It's a very like legal technicality thing. And so the Tate brothers are immediately claiming victory and saying the entire case has been dropped and Dicot has been epically owned for the corrupt, victimizing institution they are. So I think this is just them falsely claiming victory in order to lie to themselves into believing that they're winning, I guess. Like, I think they're just faking it until they make it here. Like, just keep on lying about how the Tate brothers are totally free and off the hook for the 500th time when they're not, and continuously do the same thing with Trump as well. Just fake it till you make it.
I mean, this is, again, all this proves is exactly what we all knew. They never intended this to be a real trial. It was complete garbage. By the way, you can celebrate with our quartering Christmas cookbook.
He has not gone more than 5 to 10 sentences without self-promotion. Like, I need you to know. When I tell you, when you're a conservative content viewer, these people fucking hate you. Like, I genuinely couldn't imagine how much I would want to kill myself if I came on here every day and I couldn't go 5 sentences without telling you guys to, like, engage. I feel like so shameless just asking you guys to like, subscribe, and comment at the end of a segment. And that's usually like every 25, 30, or even every hour of the stream, right? I think that's like, most people would agree that is not excessive, but I still feel shameless and a little, a little embarrassed when I do that. But these guys are just e-begging in their videos. Like, half these people's videos are e-begging. When does the sponsored segment start? I assume there's a sponsored segment somewhere in here? Oh, maybe we don't get a sponsored segment this time. Yay! Cool, at least this video is an actual video, and half of it isn't a sponsored segment too.
Which has 50 different hilarious meme-tastic recipes in it.
Meme-tastic recipes. Okay.
Gates number 4 Trump.com/store. Link in the description. Judge Merchan adjourns Trump sentencing in hush money case. Judge Merchan delays Trump sentencing after his election win as prosecutors now evaluate the impact on hush money case. That means it's over. They now have 7 days to try and they're just dragging this out, but it's done. It's over.
Basically, all of them know that Trump is guilty. They all know he did pay the hush money. They don't consider it a real issue or anything. They all admit that he committed the crime. He's not innocent of the crime he was charged with. What they allege is that he should never have been charged with it because he's Trump, and that the only reason they did charge him with it is because they don't like him, and that it was some sort of biased application of the law. But they don't really even bother claiming that they were false allegations or that he's innocent. They just claim he is just as guilty as any other politician. You gotta remember, Donald Trump is graded on a curve, which means when Donald Trump does something really bad, they give it enough charitability to ensure that there is a cap to how bad it could possibly be seen as. And usually that cap is somewhere around, I don't agree with everything that he says or does, but I still support him more than the Democrat.
This decision follows recent electoral victory over Vice President.
Yeah, they're just celebrating. This is just the party of law and order celebrating people getting away with crimes. That's all it is.
Kamala Harris, leaving the case's future in question. Prosecutors were expected to inform the judge on Tuesday whether the criminal case involving falsified business records allegedly should proceed.
And if we're wondering, like, if you actually want to know why they're dropping the case, it's because there's no point anymore. The Supreme Court ruled that Donald Trump, anything he did that could be considered an official, considered an official act, would be ruled immune. And it's up to the Supreme Court to determine what is an official act. And he has appointed the majority of the Supreme Court justices that have been appointed recently, and it's already majority red. So because Donald Trump is completely legally immune, as we actually watched a Legal Eagle video about recently, there's no point in continuing to pursue this. And so the right's response is to say, see, he was innocent all along. They were only going after him to try and stop him from winning. But now that he's won, it's like they can't get him no matter how guilty he is. So now they're claiming that as a victory.
Or sentencing should be dismissed. Trump's legal team has pushed for dismissal, which obviously they should do.
Isn't this the guy that has the cuck fantasy? Yes, the Quartering has multiple times gone on multiple cuck fantasy rants, notably about Gina Carano and about Brie Larson. On stream, ironically, like just describing in detail like a fantasy of him getting cucked. If anyone has the link to the Gina Carano one, then go ahead and send it. I'd love to play it real fast.
The electoral win is a complicating factor. Manhattan District Attorney's Office had opposed this request, but asked Merchan to delay his ruling to evaluate the case's viability post-election. There is none. You're not convicting a president-elect. You shouldn't have been bringing this ridiculous case in the first place, and the libs are melting down again.
You should never charge the president with a crime, and the libs are melting down. Fundamentally, these people champion the idea that their leader, no matter what crimes they commit, should not be allowed to be charged. There should be no legal consequences to the president committing a crime, as long as that president is the guy they support, of course.
Trump was convicted on May of...
Yes, this is a cult. If you asked the Quartering or any of his supporters, is there anything you don't like about Trump, they would fumble and mumble because they wouldn't be able to find an answer. They'll accuse you of being in a cult despite the fact that you could spend 10, 15, 20 minutes listing things you don't like about your candidate that you would like them to change, but they cannot do the same for their candidate. It is a cult.
In May of 34 felony charges on falsifying business records. The charges stem from a $130,000 payment made to Michael Cohen to allegedly Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. Merchan granted the DA's office just 1 week to assess the situation. If the case proceeds, Trump's sentencing could be delayed until after he leaves the White House.
My God, he's so boring.
Immunizing the president of official acts taken in process. I mean, this was corruption and on its highest order. You see Juan Merchan, the crooked judge overseeing Trump's president's hush money trial.
This was corruption at the highest order. Pursuing a presidential candidate for a crime they committed is corruption, not ruling that the president is immune to all criminal acts and upholding that. That is not corruption. Being let off the hook because you've been found immune to all criminal acts, basically given a pardon, is seen as less corrupt than pursuing the law. These people are cucks. They literally are. It's always projection. Everything they use is an insult. These people are cucks. They're getting cucked by Donald Trump. Donald Trump is going to... Obviously, the Quartering is going to be fine because he's wealthy. But as far as the followers of the Quartering and the people who voted for Trump, they have genuinely become cucks for Donald. They are in the cuck chair and watching as Donald Trump fucks their country and their wives. That is what's going on right now.
New York City has just adjourned Trump's November 26th sentencing case. I mean, it's over. No conviction.
You found the Gina Carano cuck fantasy? Oh, great. This is what we'll finish off the segment with, because I'm done listening to the Quartering, because he's obnoxious and annoying. And frankly, it's just so shameful to see someone like... I don't like the people who mindlessly watch the Quartering's content, but I honestly don't blame them. Like, he is doing a really good job at appealing to their sensibilities. That's why he's so successful. So I don't necessarily blame them. And because of that, it just doesn't make me feel good to see him, like, grifting his audience, you know? Like, even if I don't necessarily agree with them or get along with them, the people that are watching him are genuinely getting scammed. And it's just kind of depressing to watch him do that. And to see so many people fall for it. Like, it's depressing for the human condition overall, more than anything. Anyway, here's the Quartering's cuck fantasy about Gina Carano. We'll leave off with this.
Gina and I could do an excellent on-screen romance where like I'm the best friend. I'm like her best friend, but I pine after her. And then she just keeps banging all these other dudes. And then I'm like all sad. And then she like realizes that I was me all along, and that she comes to, you know, and then she comes to realize it. And then we live happily ever after. Like, I think we could do that. I mean, that's what I think. I just mean, like, I think it's there. She could just keep hooking up with fit dudes, MMA dudes, and then like they don't make her laugh, you know? They don't get her. And then there's me. I'm just like, oh, hey Gina. Oh, you look tired. Did you bang another dude tonight? Oh, sweet. And then like my heart
just keeps
breaking,
going.
You know?
It just keeps going. Anyway, this is so far from the most embarrassing thing this motherfucker has done. Now, if you have not seen it, listen. If you're a quartering fan and you've made it this far in the video, I want to say, I'm impressed. Good shit. I genuinely am impressed. Like, comment like, chicken. Comment chicken on this video if you watch this far, just so I know. Especially if you end up leaving a critical comment. Lets me know that you at least heard all my arguments. And so, I'm curious, if you're like a quartering fan, have you ever felt the vibe that you are being scammed? Have you ever felt like there is some shit going on and that this is not 100% fair? That you're getting, like, fucked with? I feel like you have to have. You have to. There's no way you couldn't. You gotta feel like you're getting fucked with. I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're a quartering fan, comment down below. I'm curious to hear if you feel like you're getting fucked with, like you're getting scammed by this dude, this basement pisser. Anyway. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I do want to ask you a favor. Consider leaving a like on this video if you haven't already. It really does help a ton. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already. It really does help a ton as well. And of course, consider following my social medias. Link down below in the description. I highly recommend it. It's based as fuck. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias. You can join my fan Discord for totally free. Link down below in the description. And don't forget, if you want to see my, if you want to help me keep the lights on, the roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, consider joining my website chat, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on it, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or perhaps buying Ace, or, you know, perhaps even buying some merch. The Streamlabs link down below. Regardless, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. How do you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. I watched a few quartering videos around 2018 to 2019. Dope. Did you stop because he was cringe? Did you become based because of me? Did I perhaps make you realize the error of your ways? Good. Good. I'm glad I was the one who made you realize how cringe the quartering was. I fucking hate him. He's so annoying, dude. He's so annoying. I used to like Illuminati. Oh, that's a cringe one. That's a cringe one for sure. That's rough. Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamers is a massive Trump cuck. I'm aware that he's a Trump cuck. Yes, I am quite aware. I became more based about Blair White because of you. Hey, based. I know that, like, I always find it surprising when my content is actually compelling enough to convince someone who watches a large, big YouTuber who's got, like, you know, a massive audience off of convincing people of some bullshit, like Blair White or the quartering, and I actually managed to convince them out of it, and they end up watching my stuff instead. Obviously, there's the obvious reasons why that's nice, but then there's the less obvious ones that have to do with the fact that, like, it tells me, it validates the idea that my content, my argumentation, and my points are good enough to persuade people. And that's a valuable thing. It's an important, valuable thing. Hey, at least Thunderfoot is based again? Yeah, he is based now. That is nice. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Through my window, I've seen someone walk by. They could be just going to the house next door. They could be visitors, but I've seen someone walk by multiple times. I don't know if it's someone, like, casing my house to rob it, and so I took my left ear thing off. I'm gonna keep it off for a little while, because if I hear anything, I'm gonna have to BRB and grab my gun and go handle something. And I'm not joking, because I am legitimately that paranoid, and it is Seattle, and that kind of thing happens, so... If the dude who just walked by my window a couple times tries anything, I'm gonna hear it, and if I just suddenly say nothing and switch to be right back, assume you know what's probably happening. You're not that special or have anything worth stealing. Oh, are you the chud that was in chat earlier saying MAGA shit? I meant to ban you before. By the way, Zan, you pulled me out of the alt-right. I used to be a Brett Cooper stan until I found your stuff. Nice. Gotta stay strapped going into this new administration? Dude, I just stay strapped because I live in a fucking city, man. If someone breaks into my house, you know, I want to be ready. I live in America. Listen, I expect if someone breaks into my house, they probably have a gun. Please get your gun, just keep it away from the camera. Oh, Alice Hanjad. It's completely within reach, and it always is. I always have my gun in reach. I take it into the bathroom sometimes. I live alone. I sit back down and I come back to the stream. I've got just like a little bit of red dripping down from my eyebrow, like just a little bit of splatter, and I'm just like, hey guys, probably gonna have to wrap up stream early today after a couple more segments. I got some stuff I have to do after stream. Have you ever shot anyone? No, I haven't shot anyone, Caleb. What do you mean? You think, dude, if I had ever shot anyone in my life, for one, I'd probably be in jail. Well, I would be unless it was a legal thing. But second, if it was legal, I think I'd still be in jail, right? In a lot of cases, the legal cases of shooting still end up with some jail time. It sucks, but it's true. Unless you get, like, bailed out. Shoots intruder, continues stream. Don't worry, I've got a puckle gun set up at the bottom of my staircase. If anyone tries to, like, push down, I can just, like, set up on my mounted puckle gun, and there's no one getting there's no one getting down those stairs. I tell you what. Ain't no one getting down them stairs through a narrow hallway with the puckle gun at the end. Oh. What kind of gun do you have? A Glock 19, Gen 5. And so much ammo. I'm not joking. I have a cardboard box that might have close to 1,000 9mm rounds in my closet. I might have nearly 1,000 9mm rounds. I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse, bro. Are you gonna play the reason I own a musket meme video? Oh yeah, I should play that video. It goes hard. I use a musket for home defense. Here it is.
I own a musket for home defense, since that's what the founding fathers intended. Four ruffians break into my house, the devil, as I grab my powdered wig and Kentucky rifle, blow a golf ball-sized hole through the first man, he's dead on the spot. Draw my pistol on the second man, misses him entirely because it's smoothbore and nails the neighbor's dog. I have to resort to the cannon mounted at the top of the stairs, loaded with grape shot. Tally-ho, lad! Grape shot shreds two men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel set off car alarms. Fix bayonet and charge the last terrified rapscallion. Bleeds out, waiting on the police to arrive, since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up. Ah, just as the founding fathers intended.
Just as the founding fathers intended. Ah. Doomsday prepping? Hell yeah. You think I'm gonna die in a zombie apocalypse? No, bro. I'm ready. I'm prepared. Micah Moran, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate it. Suzanne, I like your all grind, no doom mindset. Will help you become one of the faces of the left in a few years. I hope so. I hope my positivity and motivation are contagious. And Jerome in Seattle, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says Munchie Fund from a fellow Seattleite. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Jerome in Seattle. That was a good one. Holy shit. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Someone commented I should get my burps checked out by a doctor. And it's like, do they know what I'm drinking throughout my stream? Like, I'm constantly drinking fizzy carbonated drinks. Of course I burp like crazy. Have you seen Rippaverse Goalpost's video about you calling you a detractor? No, I have not. I get a lot of videos made about me these days as I get larger, so I rarely pay attention to them. That's actually the secret to being successful on YouTube. Don't pay attention to the shit that people are saying about you. It usually doesn't matter. Zan, I feel like you're the masculine figure many young men need to be pulled out of the right. I gotta lift more. I've been working on it. I don't know if you guys know, but I have been working out. I'm just like a really hard gainer, so I've been having to drink these shakes. I ran out of milk a few days ago, so I can't make any more of my shakes until my groceries arrive. Dope. Dude, my character I play in Valorant is getting buffed in the next patch. I just found this out from Ethan, my editor. Apparently my main, Phoenix, that I play in Valorant is getting buffed in the next patch, which I fucking adore because as much as I love Phoenix, he's a little underpowered at times. I feel like he gets a little overly cucked. Is the person still there? I mean, it was just someone who walked by a couple times, and, like, I don't recognize them, and I recognize most of the people in my area. It could have been just, like, a food delivery or something. It's hard to tell, because, you know, I just see, like, the general silhouette. But, you know how it is. I live in a city. If I hear some shit going on upstairs, I'll be jumping to it. Don't worry. I want a gun license, but I live with felons. Yeah, you can't have guns in the same house as a felon, Capathone. You gotta find yourself a new living situation, then, it would seem. Slashy, thank you for the two tier 1 gifted subs to Diskydoo and Loscar23. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. You are so based. You are so pog. Thank you, Slashy. I hope they appreciate their blue names. Sent a YouTube link and said Sonic DEI guys trying to use the anger from the Sonic fans to jumpstart a ChudTuber career. Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Donald Trump, the
Silas OS. I don't think this dude's going anywhere after that video. Maybe he'll blow up, but I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe I'll cover more of his stuff. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 gift sub, Slashy. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. Let me update the dono goal, my friend Areno. And on top of that, I should perhaps... It's not too windy out right now. The leaves aren't blowing too much, so we still got a little more time before I think we risk any big power outages or anything. Don't want to jinx myself, though. Let me title this segment. What do I want to title this one? I think a title that is just the quartering literally hates you is amazing. I think that is an amazing title. The quartering literally hates you. Or maybe actually hates you. Do you think literally hates you or actually hates you is better? 1 for literally, 2 for actually. 1s and 2s in chat. Everyone seems to think actually would be better. Like, you'd click on that more, I assume? Okay. The quartering actually hates you. I think that's a good title. I'll add in parentheses, the quartering lies and scams or grifts his audience and only cares about their money. Put that in parentheses. Rename. Chuds are running to Blue Sky, desperate to get attention from progressives. There we go. Nice. And now that segment's sending. Dope. That's what I like to see. Oh, I knocked over my vape. I do love Blue Sky dogpiling them collectively. It is nice to see. The chuds jump into the platform just getting absolutely dunked on is pretty funny. God, I hate how the scrolls like bend in a certain way. It makes them a little hard to work with sometimes. Alright. Let me bring up the next segment. It is going to be quite the good one. I'm actually really excited for this segment. Oh, I think it's my history, because I watched the first minute of it.
Also, the
President.
All right. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. So guys, there have been some pretty big realizations hitting people after Trump's victory in the election. A big focus has been immigration and undocumented immigrants, DACA recipients, and anchor children. That is to say, children born in America who are here. They are here. They are like, this is where they are citizens too. You can't deport them, at least that's the law currently. We hope that Trump will not change that. And so generally it's considered not good practice to separate the parents from the kids. And so that's why the term anchor baby exists. Donald Trump has left countless undocumented and documented immigrants reeling back in fear after his election. And there is so much to unpack in this situation. I honestly don't know where to begin. I'm nearly at a loss for words because I don't know where we start here. You see, there is a surprising amount of undocumented immigrants in America who support Trump. I'm not joking. They exist. And I think it's important for us to look at how those people think. People who are like absolutely overtly voting against their best interests, how they can do this and how they justify it. Thankfully, I've got something here today that's going to let us do so. It's from CNN, a surprisingly good report from CNN. I mean, I don't hate CNN, but it's not my go-to. And I think this report was some of the best that they've done in a while in regards to just like talking to people. It's called Undocumented Mechanic Says He Won't Regret His Support for Trump Even If He's Deported. If you guys don't think that's real, just watch. I need you to understand what kind of mindset the average Trump supporter has. They know he's against them. Many of them don't care.
President-elect Trump made official what CNN has been reporting for several days, namely that Stephen Miller will join Tom Homan in taking the lead on the issue in the new administration on the mass deportations, fulfilling an oft-mentioned campaign promise. Rosa Flores has more now on what this could mean for Hispanic families facing deportation, even those who supported the president-elect.
How many of you are U.S. citizens? How many of you support Donald Trump? You're undocumented and you support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump for the economy.
2 Hispanic families with mixed legal status in Houston with 2 different takes on President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. This is the Espinosa's first gathering since Trump's win.
God, these people are putting the barrel in their own mouth. The trees continued voting for the axe because they saw its handle was made of wood, and it convinced the trees it was one of them. Simple as.
How many of you fear that deportation could impact your family?
Cesar Espinosa, a husband and father, was a DACA recipient until this summer when he got a green card. His sister and brother-in-law are DACA recipients.
Every DACA recipient is in danger in regards to their ability to stay in this country. Trump attacked DACA very viciously during his first term. Very viciously. It's only because Donald Trump, to an extent, was a little bit of a lame duck president that it was able to be blocked. But DACA was barely saved by the skin of its teeth, okay? It very nearly got nuked. Green cards, I don't know what power the president has over green card recipients, like whether they can be revoked, whether the program could be shut down, whether changes can be made to it. Probably a decent amount of power. But I'd be worried even if I had a green card or like a work visa or a school visa. I'd be worried. I genuinely don't know how far Trump is willing to push it to go hard on the mass deportations thing. It's a popular policy. Like the American people, even among the demographics that would supposedly be deported, want mass deportations, and in those words specifically, mass deportations is what they want.
Sister-in-law is a green card holder, and the rest of his family here are U.S. citizens. Some who are not present are undocumented.
You're a green card holder. Your wife is a U.S. citizen. Why are you afraid of deportation?
I just became a green card holder after 33 years of being in this country. I don't think people understand the fear. It's a constant shadow hanging over our heads.
What was your reaction to Donald Trump winning?
I cried a lot. It was emotional. Have my family, like, if...
I need you to remember, when you admit that you cried because Trump won, the supporters of Trump take nothing but joy and glee in that fact. They love to play the victim if you so much as say, hey, that's not cool, in response to something like rude or mean that they do. But they absolutely take no more joy from anything other than not just a progressive, but a marginalized member or a member of a marginalized group who is progressive being upset that their life is going to be negatively impacted by them winning. They genuinely... the only thing that makes them happier than the fact that you will be hurt is that you are upset about the fact that you will be hurt. Many Trump supporters in the hardcore MAGA cult derive the vast majority of their joy from the suffering of the left. What motivates them so much to get out there and vote is their promise to see the left suffer for it. That is what they want. It's retribution against the degenerates, as they would call them in this country.
They're gonna
they consider Trump their revenge against us.
Be here or they're not gonna be here. And how do you tell all of our kids? Like my nephews, they're also our kids.
To tell people that this doesn't live in kids and children's mind and teenagers and young adults' life is a lie.
Gelasio Velasquez is an undocumented mechanic who has worked in Houston for 25 years. He plays in this park with his 2 U.S. citizen children, ages 5 and 9, and stands by Donald Trump.
So you support...
One thing you should probably know is that, statistically, much more so than other parts of the country, Latinos in Texas are very racist, and not only that, but very, kick the ladder down behind them type people. Like, there's obviously stats from, the voting demographics that voted for Trump in Texas that we can go off of, but even just from anecdote, I've got a good few friends that live in Texas, and one of them lived in Houston, or a few of them lived in Houston, actually, and talked about how even the young Latino people in Houston, they cheer when they see a Trump show up on the TVs in a restaurant or something. Like, it's especially the young people are fully bought into the Trump cult of personality. It's not just that they support him, but they cheer when they see him on TV in like a cafe or a restaurant or something. They're like, that's my guy.
Donald Trump because of the economy.
For the economy, yes.
But you don't support the anti-immigrant rhetoric.
I'm not support the anti-immigrant action.
Do you support his mass deportations?
No, it's not human.
Are you afraid that you could be deported in this mass deportation?
I'm not afraid.
Espinosa.
A lot of them justify this because they believe that Trump is going to hurt all the people that are like them that aren't them. They're going to benefit from all of the good promises Trump made, like fixing the economy, and they're going to be fine. I just support it for the economy. They're willing to be deported from a country that they won't get to live. They are willing to vote to improve the economy of a country they'll be deported from. Yes. That is how far they will go. Apparently a big reason for this is that supposedly it's actually very easy to come back illegally even after you've been deported. I don't buy that, but apparently that's a reason why he might not be so worried, is that he'll just come back if he gets deported. And he's not so worried.
Runs a migrant advocacy group and says many people are afraid and have called him in tears.
I think there's a heightened sense of fear.
Explain why Latino men are going to Trump.
Democrats forget the promise when these guys are in the office in the Washington. The Latinos want a better nation.
Espinosa believes some of the Latino support for Trump was a vote against the prospect of the first black female president.
There's still a lot of machismo. There's still a lot of...
There was certainly a lot of the pull against supporting Harris, particularly among the Latino demographic, was definitely racism and sexism. I would say that overall as a country, America's not too racist and sexist to elect a black woman, but... just because, but I do think that demographically, something you should probably know is that in America, especially in the South, and that includes like what is effectively the South, like Texas and Florida, Latinos are like as right-wing as it gets. Some of the most hyper authoritarian right-wing that it gets, some of the most comfortable being openly racist and anti-black that it gets. And you can say like, oh, bullshit. No, it's true. It's true. Like, white people are fucking racist. White people do the institutional racism, but Latinos, especially in Texas, Florida, and throughout the South, are comfortably racist. They're openly racist and comfortable about it. And that's problematic to me. Not everybody, but statistically, it's a uniquely weird type of racist normalization that's kind of blown up.
Misogyny, and something that we need to say aloud is there's a lot of anti-blackness.
Velasquez says he hopes Trump finds compassion for immigrant fathers like him who are not criminals.
If you get deported, would you regret your support to Donald Trump?
No me arrepentiría.
He's saying that he wouldn't regret supporting Donald Trump. So you're really not thinking about yourself. You're thinking...
This is the product of brainwashing. They have been brainwashed into believing the Dems are so evil and keep their promises so poorly due to, of course, the fact that they were either never exposed to or there really wasn't a lot of coverage of Biden's achievements while he was president. And the right had full carte blanche to dominate the media sphere, telling like everybody that Trump was the only one who actually did anything when he was in office. And he's making these insane promises that everybody wants to be true. Latino from Chile, I can confirm there is a shit ton of racist assholes. Yeah, especially in like Chile and all of South America, because like, okay, if we're talking about South America, there's a big racist there's a lot of racism in South America. Let me try to break it down. It goes deeper than this, and I'm not very learned, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but here's my basic understanding. There are a lot of indigenous groups that exist throughout much of South America, and they tend to be a lot darker skinned than the descendants, pretty much white, damn near white descendants of European colonialists that oftentimes make up the majority of ruling figures and the most wealthy figures throughout a lot of South American countries. And because of this, there's like a lot of just straight up colorist racism and like weird like anti-indigenous sentiment all throughout South America. It's really gotten to be a big problem. And so I wonder if any of that kind of hitches a ride here to any degree. It's hard to say. I know that like racism is a big issue, but in sort of a different way in a lot of South American countries, but I'm not super read up on it. It's called the caste system, Zan. I mean, I know what a caste system is, but I meant more so like who's in government. But yeah, I get what you mean.
About your children and the future of your children.
Yes, I want the better for my children.
Cesar says he feels guilty for bringing so much uncertainty to his family.
What's it like for you to see your wife go through this and the emotions that she's going through?
I apologize to her a lot. We fell in love right away, and we got married almost right away, because when you know, you know.
We asked Velázquez and Espinosa the same final question.
Do you have a plan in case you get deported?
I respect that decision. I leave the country. I'm not coming back.
There is a plan. We've talked about.
What a fucking cuck. Imagine being so cucked and brainwashed. This is why we have no forgiveness for the people who voted Trump. No forgiveness needs to be the left's motto going forward. Either get on board or you're going to get bullied. Just like the right did all this time. We need all these people to feel bad. And it sucks to see that so many of these people are so cucked, they've already told themselves, even if the worst case scenario happens, even if the left ends up being completely right about Donald Trump, they won't regret voting for him. Because they are so unwilling to admit that they were wrong. Like, they won't even regret it if the worst case scenario happens to them and every other undocumented immigrant. They don't deserve a single bit of sympathy. Not when they end up like deported, homeless, their children end up succumbing to horrible diseases that they refuse to vaccinate them for. They are going to dig their own graves and then expect us to cry over them as they rot in the holes they dug for themselves. They'll expect us to cry for them and reach to help them out. We're not going to do that. They're going to have to fully admit they were wrong if they want to get that hand out. If they want to get helped out of that hole that they dug for themselves, they better admit they were wrong for it and that we were right the whole time. And they better beg and plead
about it openly with our family.
Turns out, these two Hispanic families with two different takes on Trump's win have the same plan if they get deported. They would go to Mexico as a family.
As for how organizations across this country are preparing for possible deportations, first of all, nationally, the ACLU and LULAC, they're preparing for the legal fight to challenge some of these policies in court. And then there's organizations, for example, in California, who are calling for immigration reform. And in New York, organizations who are switching their mission a little to focus on the possibility of mass deportation. And Anderson, I talked to some organizations here in Texas on the border who say that if the federal government is actually going to deport a lot of migrants in this massive way, that they should do so with dignity.
They should do so with dignity. Oh, man. Well, like I said, guys, sympathy to everybody who got out there and voted against this fascist prick, but if they supported him, it seems they don't even feel like they're going to be regretting it if they end up getting deported. So why should we feel bad for those that voted for Trump getting what they voted for? I'm going to continue to promote the idea that the right or the left needs to start acting like the right towards people on the right. The left has for a very long time, or the right has for a very long time bullied people on the left and in the center for having left-wing ideas, but in a very particular way. They point and they laugh at them when they are suffering from something like objectively bad that they're dealing with. Then they suggest it is the fault of the left and their support of the left and their being on the left. And then they give them the out from the being bullied and they're looking like a fool of becoming conservative. And due to the social pressure and there being only one out, they naturally end up getting pushed towards that single out, which is becoming more conservative for the sake of validation and approval in a social space. And the right loves to dominate social spaces and make their ideas the standard and incessantly bully anybody who dares not to meet the ideas that they also have. It's a form of pressuring. And I think the left needs to start engaging in that type of peer pressure. Start dominating spaces, start gaining an audience, and start pointing at the awful things that are going to happen to the people who voted for Trump because of their vote, laugh at them for it, and say, hey, maybe you can stop being a cucked right-winger and become a lefty, and maybe next election this shit won't be happening to you. Yet every opportunity for this to not happen. The left needs to be edgy so America can see edge as more than just saying slurs and bigotry. I think that's also going to be a valuable part as well. But I think that's going to be... A lot of edginess is really perception to a degree. Let's be fair. A lot of it is perception. Regardless, though, I think it's really important to point out the fact that a lot of people who voted for Trump fully know they're voting against their best interests. And they've been brainwashed into believing it's what's best for the country and that their well-being is not necessarily what matters. Like, can you imagine being this brainwashed? Being brainwashed into being this cucked? We've got a lot of work to do, guys. Like, if this video didn't make that obvious, I don't know what possibly could. I really don't. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like, subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already so YouTube will actually tell you when I go live or upload a new video, and comment as well. Likes and comments are the best way to boost my content in the algorithm and ensure that YouTube pushes my stuff to the widest audience possible. And of course, don't forget if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description, especially my fan Discord. It's the main hub and, sort of nexus of my fan base and community. And I do post a lot of stuff on there, and I hang out there quite often. I actually do watch parties, call-in streams, and all sorts of cool events there every single Friday, every week. And on top of that, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on, a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall Studio, you can donate, subscribe, gift a sub, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support my stream, though, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good one. How'd you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. I don't see any crazy wind blowing my plants outside, so it seems like we're getting to 5 p.m. and no crazy wind just yet. I'm hoping that, like, maybe I end up getting lucky or something. Like, Seattle's fairly inland. I feel like it should get broken up a lot before it hits. Let me check the weather and see what's going on. Bomb cyclone, high winds, and blizzards. I've reached the limit of the amount of free articles I can read from Seattle Times. Nice. God, it looks so scary. The strongest atmospheric river that California and the North Pacific has seen this season bears down on the region. The storm system has intensified so quickly that it is considered a bomb cyclone. A blizzard warning is issued for the majority of the Cascades in Washington, including Mount Rainier National Park, starting Tuesday afternoon with up to a foot of snow and wind gusts of up to 65 miles an hour. Is it Thursday? Oh, late into Thursday night and Friday morning. Damn, dude. What if I go to the Weather Seattle account? What are they tweeting? I'm curious what they think is going on. An example of the localized nature of these winds. Winds are now extending downward from the terrain of the Cascades, and SeaTac is gusting to 38 miles an hour, 18 miles away At Tacoma Narrows, it's only 7 miles per hour. So apparently it's like really... Maybe I'll get lucky. Wind will increase to the evening hours. Strongest winds in the scenario are expected along the coast, near the Cascades, the north interior, and near the strait. East/southeast winds can be highly localized and terrain-driven. I might be guarded by the mountains. Some of the most powerful winds with the strongest low pressure offshore are often in a region called the Sting Jet, not a police tribute band, also known as the Poisonous Trail, or Poisonous Tail. It's where strong winds form as colder, dense air rapidly descends and dries. Oh man, it's coming right for us, bro. It's coming right for us. We're not even at the worst part yet. Oh, it's fucking worrying, bro. We're so hecked, guys. Good, the plants aren't... I'm so scared. I don't want my power to go out, man. I hate that shit. It's gonna be so cold and dark. God. Oh, this is gonna suck. I hope my power doesn't go out. But it is. It probably will. Alright. Let me upload that next segment, huh? Let me send that to my editor. Urgent... What's a good title name for that one? He won't, he says he doesn't regret voting Trump. Or he doesn't regret voting Trump. He says he doesn't regret supporting Trump. He says he does, how's that sound? He says he doesn't regret supporting Trump. That is a really bad title, Emerald Ore. I'm sorry. Once it's gotten to be more than like 6 to 8 words, it's too many. I'm sorry. He says he doesn't regret supporting Trump. You gotta remember, the thumbnail tells the other half of the story. The best titles are ones that are like a little vague, and then the rest of like any questions you have about the title are answered by the thumbnail. So half of the title is in the title, the other half is in the thumbnail. So if a title doesn't sound a script enough, just know that's fine. Yeah. He doesn't regret supporting Trump. Just that, you think? He doesn't regret supporting Trump. And then parentheses. Undocumented immigrant says he doesn't, or he won't regret voting Trump even if deported. Unparentheses. The parentheses things are for my editor, by the way. He doesn't regret supporting Trump. Undocumented immigrant says he won't regret voting Trump even if deported. There we go. This should pop off. There we go. Sending to my editor. Nice, guys. Thank you. Ooh. Devin David, the way you worded that title is not great, but you low-key cooked with part of that wording. I am going to reword this title. He doesn't mind being deported. That title goes hard. He doesn't mind being deported. That will go hard. He doesn't mind being deported. That title cooks. There we go. That's the one we'll work with. That's great. That's a good one, dude. Much snappier. Yeah, exactly. Much snappier. I like it. Okay. Who was it that suggested that again? Devin Davin was the one who suggested it. Yeah. They should deport Elon. Sadly, I don't think they will. Sadly, I don't think we're ever going to see Elon get deported now that he's, like, in government. It sucks. I know illegal immigrants can't vote, but when I say support Trump, I don't necessarily mean vote for Trump. The fact that illegal immigrants that cannot vote support Trump is the main point. You don't have to vote for someone to support them. That storm looks gorgeous on the global weather map. It does look very pretty. Is this the current state of it right now? Oh, I guess it's not really here yet. Oh, it kinda is. Bro. Why you gotta do me like this? Why you gotta go and do me like this, Seattle? Good God, bro. Holy shit. Look at the Satan's vortex of hell. Look like just like coming for me, bro. Look at this shit. That's where I am. I'm in this little city here, and this is what's coming for me. Some bullshit, I tell you what. Florida sends its regards. I'm gonna piss in the wind. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna find like a nice point in far end of my yard, and I'm gonna piss in the winter storm. That's something every Floridian has done, is gone outside to piss in a hurricane. You have to do it at least once, so you're not a real Floridian. And so I must piss somewhere in the outdoors during a freezing rainstorm. I'll probably die, but it's how I assert my dominance on the storm. You live in Florida? I lived in Florida. Zeptro. Zeptro. I just showed the city of Seattle and said, this is where I am. Are you... I love you, Zeptro. I love you, buddy. I hope you know that. Gen Z moment? Actual Gen Z moment. Literal, real Gen Z moment. Real. Alright, hold on. Alrighty. Before I get this segment started, I'm going to quickly use the restroom. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. I've got a lot of spicy segments for you guys coming up next. If my stream ends up going out, reminder, there's a storm coming, so that would be my power getting cut out. Hopefully it would come back immediately, but I'd probably be out until tomorrow. If my power goes out in the night and I don't stream tomorrow, assume, you know, that's why. But I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to go use the restroom, and then I've got some more stuff to cover, so stay tuned. Alright, guys. I got my space heater on, and I'm getting it nice and toasty in here. Alright. I expect that eventually, in the night, my power's inevitably gonna go out, so in preparation for that, I'm getting the space heater going. It's probably gonna get a little sweaty in here, but that's better than when my power goes out and it's gonna get way, way cold in here, so I'm gonna try to trap a lot of heat inside the house before this storm potentially fucks my shit up. Not super excited for the weather. IDK how bad it's gonna be in Portland, though. It probably won't be that bad in Portland, right? Zan just ate a ton to hibernate? Yeah, easy. Do you think China's actually going to eclipse the USA on power, like within your lifetime? Trump will get us closer to that than I think anyone else could. I like your voice and I'm new here. Welcome, JMS. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. Will it be cold being so far north? It's going to drop down into the 30s, mid to low 30s tonight, Princess Kristen, okay? So when the power goes out, it's going to be dark, and it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. Not good. Yeah, not good. 30s Fahrenheit, 30s Fahrenheit. So close to zero, like in the, like, 10s. Like, somewhere between 0 and 10 degrees Celsius is what it's going to be. Damn, that's cold. It's not that cold. But it's going to be too cold to not have any central, like, any power. So, yeah. I'm going to assume with how cold it's going to be, that if the power goes out, they're going to be on fixing that shit immediately. Like, ASAP, I would hope. And I would hope my neighbors would be, like, ones that have fireplaces would be down to let me hang out for a minute, because I'm pretty nice to my neighbors. I wave at them, I say nice things to them. So hopefully, if it gets so super cold and I'm at risk of dying here with no power, my neighbors will let me hang out. Let me sit by the fire. Ooh. Chat, I've got something for y'all. You're gonna love it. Y'all are gonna love it. Here, let's see. Can I find another good one? Here are some great palette cleanser images of my adorable little puppy. My mom sent these photos from all the way in California. Here's a picture of her. I think she just had a bath, chilling out, trying to stay warm and dry off. She's so scraggly. She's laying down, looking at the camera. She's usually way more hyper when she has photos taken of her. She's not usually this chill. She's just laying there letting herself have photos taken of her. That's not normal. She typically gets up and attacks the camera. You gotta be real stealthy and sneak up on her with the camera to get a photo of her laying this still. It's a skill. You gotta be stealthy about it, because she freaks out when she sees a phone or a camera. I don't know why, but she attacks it. She starts playing with it, and she wants it. She wants to play with it. She'll knock it out of your hand if she can. She's a tiny little lamb dog. She does look like a lamb. Here's her yawning. If anyone's curious what it looks like when she yawns, this is her yawning. She is very sweet, too. What really just brings it all together is that she is the sweetest and most affectionate dog that I have ever met. And then, of course, hold on, one more. I gotta show you guys. We gotta finish it off with bombastic side-eye. Let me show you guys one of her most bombastic side-eyes that I've ever seen from her. I've shown this one before, but it's a really good one. She is giving some bombastic side-eye right here, okay? Like, she's hitting you with it. Dude, she's so homophobic here. She knows what you are. And she's judging you harshly. When dogs look at you like that, That's how you know they're homophobic. They're saying, I know what you are. That's what that translates to in dog. That's what that look means. It's just not natural. Meow Wixen, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you. Says, have you ever been to Aberdeen? No, I haven't been to Aberdeen myself. No. I heard it's nice, though. It's on the coast. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll end up going there one day. Let me make sure I'm not missing. Good. I was worried I might have missed a super chat dono, and that would have made me feel bad. Let me update the dono goal really fast. All right. Okay. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Matt Walsh is without a doubt one of the most evil conservative pundits to ever live. He is on a 38-year-long evil streak. I don't think there's been a single day where that motherfucker has not made it his top priority to ruin the lives and the prospects of groups that he does not consider worthy of human respect, decency, and rights. He's genuinely just famous for the fact that he is good at triggering libs and doing a really smug, and wrong vibed smile as he does so. That just kind of triggers the libs even harder. We've talked a lot lately about how many of these conservative pundits got famous, not because they have anything valuable to say, but because they're really effective at triggering the libs. And that's where I think a lot of the vibes, a lot of the support needs to go for progressive creators, is those that trigger the right-wingers. Those that, like, say and do things that just make right-wingers lose control of their patience and their like better judgment. Zan, more followers than Matt Walsh win. We are 1/300th of the way there. Once I get like 3,000 more subs. How many subs are we at right now? Let me check how many subs we're at. We are 10 subs away from being at 97,200 subs. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's raw as fuck. But yeah, we're a bit away from being 1/300th of the way to Matt Walsh's sub count. Actually, no, he's at 3.1 million, so I'm 3 million subs away roughly from reaching Matt Walsh's size. It kind of gives you an idea of how disproportionate the support for the left and right is online. Which really, you know, the salt to rub into that wound is the fact that Matt Walsh is making content for his 3 million subscribers, such as Girl Math has officially made its way into the government. I have no idea what this means. I don't know what girl math is. My assumption would be, like, it's math that's wrong, or math about women by women. Maybe it's math that they don't agree with. Like, maybe it's statistics they don't agree with, that don't, like, agree with them, I should say, that they call girl math. I have no idea what it means. Let's check it out.
A while
Girl math has officially made its way into the government. I love how he's making this video when does he realize who controls the government starting on January 20th? Like, you can complain about the Biden admin for the next few months if you want to, but you're just kind of clawing up a nothing tree at this point. Like, you need to start getting ready to defend the backlash from Trump's presidency. You got to start guarding that man's nutsack like crazy.
A while ago on the show, we discovered the concept of girl math.
I am excited to find out what the fuck girl math is. I saw girl math at Coachella. They were pretty good. Is it a band? Maybe it's a band. I don't know.
Those who need a refresher course on this academic subject, girl math describes the sorts of mental calculations that women make when they're out shopping. Girl math is less math and more magical thinking. So, for example...
Okay. Is he aware of the fact that men are massively underperforming in STEM fields right now, particularly in math when it comes to school, and girls have been for like decades now, massively overperforming in academic studies, especially math, geometry, engineering, etc., than boys have? Like, it's like a thing that academics and scientists and sociologists are genuinely concerned about is that like young boys are not taking to math as effectively as young girls do. Like, I'm pretty sure women have a reputation for being objectively better at math, more like the average, something that's just true across the board is that the average woman is smarter and more educated than the average man. And so I don't know what he's trying to get at here. Is this some sort of like women are dumb, women be shopping type shit? What is this? Because if we're talking about statistics and school performance, women are just better at math than men are, like statistically.
Example, according to Girl Math, if a woman buys some totally unnecessary item for $63, well, she just lost $63. However, if that same exact item is $63, but it was originally $90, then instead of losing $63, she has just made $27.
Okay, this is incel logic. This is just an incel meme. So for those who don't know, there's been like a trend of incel memes coming out lately about how girls are so stupid and incapable of handling money that they'll see a fake discount and immediately buy something. This is literally nothing to do with women. This is basic marketing. People, and like a lot of companies do this, like Amazon does it as well. Will they just always have something as a discount? Like that's just, it's basic marketing. What? Also, if something's actually on sale, then yes, you did. If you were going to buy a thing, I like how he specifies something pointless. What does he think is pointless for a woman to buy? Like lingerie, clothes, shoes, makeup? Because I can assure you, the vast majority of men, as much as they love to give women shit for shopping, because women be shopping, all the shit that they tend to shop for is to make themselves look a way that men like. Most women dress to look good for other women, generally, but let's be real, men are appreciating it too most of the time. So, like, do you expect women to just not buy clothes? Like, what purchases are pointless that he's describing here? Like, what pointless purchase is it? Also, is it a pointless purchase if a man does it? Like, I can't imagine that he would call a man buying a flat screen to watch, like, Saturday Night Football with his friends a pointless purchase, but I feel like this dude would call a woman buying the lingerie that she wanted a pointless purchase, even though, like, she's doing it to, attract her husband. You know that's how he thinks. You know that's how he thinks.
That 30% discount immediately becomes profit for the female customer. Now, a man might point out that even if the item was on sale,
oh my god, this is actually full-on incel, gender, like, absolutionist bullshit. That's insane. I'm not much of a gender essentialist besides, like, people thought I had a gender essentialist take recently. I showed that video of, like, the little boy getting rejected by the little girl and having, like, a tantrum over it. And people thought that I was suggesting boys are uniquely, like, inherently evil compared to girls. And that's not necessarily my point. My point is that everybody, when they're a child, their instinct is to throw a tantrum when they don't get what they want. Good parents effectively parent that out of their kids, but it has to be taught in different ways. Girls are typically socialized at a pretty young age, and there are other social factors that contribute to this being less of a problem too, but they tend to be less like the party involved in a rejection or a breakup that ends up getting super salty, obsessive, and like stalkery. It tends to be guys that do that. And I think the reason why it's typically guys is because guys are not socialized into understanding that rejection is not an attack on them that they should feel is like a personal grievance or gripe, that they should just accept it, take it on the nose or take it on the chin and move on. And instead they end up having a tantrum over it. Look at like the amount of #nice guys that have a meltdown when they're nice to a girl and they don't get fucked for it, right? A lot of guys from a young age have never been taught away from that behavior, and I've specifically said, you should have rephrased it this last time, TBH. Maybe that's what I should have done, but regardless, my point being that like these behaviors are inherent to everybody when they're a little kid and they don't get what they want, and I don't feel like enough young boys are taught when they start displaying these like hyper entitled behaviors around women, even at a young age, when they're not like taught that that's wrong. It ends up sticking with them late into life.
Well, she still spent money.
Like Matt Walsh, for example. It's cute if it's like a little 6-year-old, like, getting upset and saying, "You're mean," when he gets rejected. It's like, oh, it's adorable. It's an adorable little video. But it stops being adorable when that little boy grows up into a Matt Walsh, right? Like, I feel like this, like, gender essentialist shit is so cancer.
Money she didn't need to spend on an item that she didn't need to buy. The 30% discount doesn't change the fact that she's out the $63. In fact, a man might also argue discounts are usually fake anyway. So most of the time, the alleged discounted price is just the price. If the item on the shelf is...
Well, discounts are not always fake. For example, if you actually price monitor a thing that you want, like let's say a girl wants to get, let's say, a PlayStation, you know, and waits until Cyber Monday when PlayStations are discounted and are cheaper to buy to get it. Is it girl math to consider the saved money on the discounted PlayStation you would have gotten regardless? I think what Matt Walsh is trying to suggest here is that the correct answer would be to not buy any of these things, which is hilarious because, like, dude, you're a capitalist. What do you mean? Like, don't buy things? You're literally criticizing marketing strategies that are inherent to capitalism right now, convincing people that if they don't buy something now, and this is not a woman thing, but just people in general, if they don't buy now while something is discounted, then when they buy it later, they'll have to pay more. It's not girl math, it's psychological manipulation that companies do on all consumers.
Is $14.99, but the store claimed the regular sale price is $23.99. The alleged regular sale price is almost always imaginary. Like, they've never actually sold the item for $23.99. The price is always just $14.99. The sale is a marketing ploy. Now, this is what men so often try to explain, but...
This 100% has to be him being mad at his wife for some kind of purchase. Yeah. I don't know. Apparently, it's going off of some kind of story. Here, I'm going to speed this up because Matt Walsh talks really slow.
It's to no avail. That's how a woman can go out and buy a car full of junk that she doesn't need and still feel like she has somehow saved hundreds of dollars.
This is literally just like incel fuel. Like, women be shopping, am I right? Like, no, they're not. Women are actually not shopping much. Believe it or not, the economy is fucked. And for the most part, the vast majority of women out there are not, like, who is the market for this content? All right, I assume it's just a bunch of boomers complaining about their wives in the comments. I went to Barnes & Noble's and I asked the lady at the counter if they had the new Trump book about deporting migrants. She looked at me and said, "Get the hell out of here and don't come back." And then I said, "Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Do you have it in paperback?" And she had the nerve to say, "You heard that correctly, like it's an infomercial. These people are soulless." Hochul started the $15 toll. Now she drops it to $9 and claims she did a good thing. These people are complete clowns. Girl math. Buys $30 item, returns it for store credit, just made $30. Thank you, Kathy, for... If you buy a $30 product, use it for what you need from it, and then return it to the store and get your credit for it, you can use that credit to buy another thing from the store. So you've gotten the thing that you needed from that This is just men literally not thinking on the same level as women. I saw there's a joke that actually stuck with me in the She-Hulk show. I watched the first few episodes of it, but I kind of fell off of it. But there was one joke that stuck with me, which is when Bruce Banner and his cousin She-Hulk are in the car, and she's using chopsticks to eat her Cheetos out of the bag, and Bruce Banner's like, "Why are you doing that? Like, what? Why? Like, why? I see a lot of women like eating things with chopsticks. Why are you doing it?" She's like, "So I don't get the grease and the crumbs on my fingers, and so I can like touch my phone and do stuff with my hands and not have to like clean them off or deal with it under my nails or anything." And he's like, "Huh, that's really smart." I feel like so many dudes will see women think things through and do something that doesn't immediately occur to them, call it stupid, write it off, and refuse to think about it for more than a second and just like chalk it up to women being like dumb. When what that guy just described was, let's say, what's an example of this? Let's say, for example, your power goes out and you need a generator. You go to the store, you buy a generator, you use it for a few days while your power is out, your power comes back, you return it to the store, and you get however much you paid for the generator in store credit. Now you can use that store credit to buy groceries or things you already needed around the house. So that money, that, say, whatever amount of money you spent on a generator, ends up doubling as money you spent on a thing that you needed or wanted, and you can spend it on something else. So the example the guy that complained in the comments listed is literally just him not understanding like more than 4 or 3 levels of planning. So in other words, just envy of women thinking rationally and logically and having common sense. Yeah.
As long as she buys stuff on sale, she isn't actually spending any money in her mind. She's making money. So girl math taken to its logical end would mean that if you have $0 in your bank account, you could still buy an infinite amount of merchandise on sale because you're making money. You're not spending it.
Women totally believe this, guys, because women like don't understand math, I guess. Who fucking believes this shit? Incels. This is incel bait content.
If you make $14 an hour working retail, there's no reason why you can't buy a Lamborghini for $250,000 if the normal sale price is $300,000, because then they're paying you $50,000 to take the car. $50,000 in a new car, that's a hell of a deal. And that's kind of how girl math works. Now, here's the question. What happens when girls run the government?
So basically, the fact he says girls is amazing, because this is straight up. He is speaking to middle schoolers right now. This is a video made by a 38-year-old for middle schoolers. That is crazy. This 38-year-old refers to women as girls running the government. That's fucking wild.
Well, it turns out that we get a government operating on the principles of girl math. And that brings us finally to Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. She just held a press conference where she made an exciting announcement. Kathy informed the people of New York that she had just saved them $1,500 a year. Now, it's not often that a Democrat politician saves taxpayers' money, so this was well.
This is their running talking point, by the way, guys. All your taxes are wasted on any list of things they complain about them being wasted on. You should always be in favor of tax cuts, which the Republicans run on, because the Dems just waste all your tax dollars. That is fundamentally the type of rhetoric that gets these Republicans continuously elected, is the lie that the Dems don't keep their promises and they waste tax dollars, and that the Republicans promise you less taxes. And then they don't actually deliver less taxes. They actually tax middle-class people more and lower taxes immensely on the ultra-rich. That's actually a big reason why Trump had so much financial support for this election, was that the billionaire class that Trump had written multiple tax cuts for in his previous presidency, those tax cuts were about to expire. And so a lot of billionaires had a very strong interest in getting Trump reelected, like now, because if they didn't, then they were going to end up having a pretty substantial hike to their taxes as billionaires, and Trump has promised to keep rich people taxes very low. And in turn, the middle class will end up getting taxed more. That's what Trump did during his first term. Middle class ended up getting taxed more, and Trump cut taxes for the ultra-wealthy. That's what they always do.
Welcome news, shocking news. But how exactly did she pull this off? How is she going to save New Yorkers $1,500? Well, let's find out.
During this process, from day one, I have made affordability for New York families a top priority. I always have, and I always will, fight to put more money in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers. That's why back in June, I stood up on behalf of hardworking families and simply said no. No to a new $15 congestion toll that at that particular time was just too much. Too many people are worrying about high costs, groceries, rent, childcare. These are...
Wait. Is Matt Walsh... So Matt Walsh started this video with a rant about how women can't do math because they see a discount and think that the money they saved is profit, which is not a thing, but he claims it's a woman thing, and then shows a clip of the female governor of New York talking about cutting a toll for New Yorkers that was costing them money, talks about how that they are going to end up saving $1,500 a year or a month or whatever on average because of that. And Matt Walsh is like, well, that's not really saving money because it's the same as a discount. She blocked the toll from getting raised, and she is talking about it. So I'm guessing what this was he needed to make a video attacking Kathy Hochul, but he couldn't find a way to do so in any real effective way, and so they just like threw together a story. Girl math, I earn $50K, my boyfriend earns $90K, I earn $140K. This is literally just incel. This is just an incel comment section. I'm so glad I'm not like women who do girl math. From Rosie Finley. Dude, she's not like the other girls. Nice. I'm an everyday New Yorker, and we're tired of hearing this shit. She actually got up and told people how she saved them money by charging less than she was going to. The mafia is this bad. No, she literally just said she blocked the toll price from getting raised. Does she think that, like, the governor is the one, like, is, like, taxing, like, the governor is, like, charging, like, New Yorkers for, like, what is this logic? Home Math has covered this extensively. That's an incel channel if you guys don't know Home Math. The more you spend, the more you save. An actual Macy's ad. I don't think she's using girl math here, but regardless, I like the female commenter saying, I don't think she's using girl math here, but regardless, charging someone to drive on a road you already tax them to maintain, in a car you... Oh, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Do they know? Do they know what tolls are? Tolls are the tax for the road. That is what they are. That is what tolls are, is a tax for the road. I'm going to punch a wall. I'm gonna lose it, dude. I'm gonna geek. She spewed this nonsense with a straight face. It is really unbelievable. So let me get this right. A working person who has to drive to work has to pay between $2,700 and $3,200 a year. I would be like welfare looks mighty good right now. A $9 toll on roads we're already overtaxed to build and maintain is grotesque. I can't wait for these people to celebrate the infrastructure funding bill that Biden passed in 2 years when it hits and starts rebuilding our literally crumbling infrastructure, and they start giving the credit to Trump, even though that was a Biden bill. Apparently, we're overtaxed to support the roads, even though the taxes for our roads primarily come from, like, if it's a given road, a toll. That's how you pay for, like, maintaining a section of highway. For example, going from, like north of Tampa down to Tampa, you can take the highway, and it's like 4 or 5 different tolls, because each segment of highway needs to be paid for to maintain. Especially when taxes are as low as they are in Florida, they need to have toll forms of taxes, yeah. I genuinely hate that Trump will get credit from ignorant dumbasses. That's the thing. That's the thing. At the end of the day, as long as they keep their base ignorant enough, they'll never know who to blame for what they're going to go through. The same as what they did for the last 4 years. The question is, can they brainwash their base so well and so hard that through 4 years of a Republican trifecta, they can blame the Dems who have no power for everything that ends up harming the American people's way of life? We'll have to watch and see. We'll have to watch and see. Matt Walsh is truly an evil, dishonest, and deceptive piece of shit. And I really do hope that, maybe a few Matt Walsh fans see this video and end up changing their minds. Hey, if you're a Matt Walsh fan, you want to leave a hate comment, consider leaving the comment, whatever comment you leave, include the word eggplant in it down below in the comment section so I know you watched this far in the video, because if you leave a hate comment but you at least heard all my arguments, I can respect it. If you just leave a hate comment and you don't include eggplant, I know you didn't even bother watching the whole video, so then I'll just disregard your criticism. But if you include it and you still disagree with me, then at least I know you're in good faith. Or at least you're attempting to be. And that's actually pretty respectable. So maybe some Matt Walsh fans will see this. Comment down below if you're one of them, especially if you had your mind changed by this video. I'd love to see, somebody who's an ex-Matt Walsh fan in my community. That'd be crazy. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like, whether you're watching live or when this goes up after the fact as its own video. Every single thumbs up is like casting a blue ballot for YouTube to push my content further in the algorithm to far more new and old viewers alike, and it happens in real time. So thank you to everybody who goes out of their way to do that. And of course, if you want to support me even more, you can subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications. You can comment as well, and you can follow my social medias, all linked down below in the description, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, including my Blue Sky account, Xander Hall on Blue Sky, by the way, go check me out, and consider joining my fan Discord. It's totally free to join. It's the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and all sorts of other neat, just community-centered kind of events in my Discord, and I do it at least once a week, every Friday. So I hope to see you guys there. I also announce all my new uploads and streams there, so if even if YouTube fucks up, at least you'll know that my Discord will not end up bugging out and not telling you when I go live or upload. Regardless, though, finally, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, consider donating, subscribing, gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one. Nice. How far into stream am I? We're pretty far into stream, bajongles, but we've still got a couple more topics to cover. Fair warning, if my stream just completely dies out of nowhere, assume my power went out. I'm in Seattle, and a big-ass storm is hitting right now. The wind's not really blowing super hard right now, but it's been very localized, so for all I know, wind's gonna knock down power lines far off. That'll knock out my power here. Could happen any second. My power's flickered like a few times already this stream, so maybe it holds out all night and we end up being fine, but it probably won't, so I'm just hoping I can finish up this stream before my power dies. But if it doesn't, if I don't make it, then you guys know that that's why. Oh yeah, what should we title that segment? Root Media, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Says, hey, I made the video on the Roblox Rome guy. Thank you for reacting to my video. It means a lot. Much love. Oh, hell yeah, Root Media. I recognized your name. I really liked that video. It went hard as fuck. Thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed my reaction to it. You did a good job with the graphics and stuff. I made some jokes at some points in the video about how the graphics look so much like a real, like, historical documentary about, like, real historical events that you could take a clip, like, out of context and have it, like, and convince someone they're watching a clip from a historical documentary about, like, Rome, and then it cuts to the Roblox gameplay at the last second and then ends. That would be, you could make like a few clips like that and upload them as shorts, Root Media. I highly recommend that. Those would be some great shorts that would probably go viral. Because you did the graphics and the editing so well that, like, you could totally cut some bits of that out of context and people would not be able to tell it was a documentary about Roblox. They would think it was straight off the History Channel or something. Oh, you're in Washington too? Cool. Yeah, I'm in Washington. I'm a Seattleite. A Seattleite! Let's go! Alright. Let me update the dono goal. Let me rename this. Alright. I'm thinking Matt Walsh says women are too dumb to do math. Matt Walsh says women are too dumb to do math. And then in parentheses, I think that's a great title. Just Matt Walsh says women are too dumb to do math is an amazing title. It's just straight up. Too divisive, classic Democrat. I assume you're memeing purple champagne, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're like a chud who's dumb enough to have made an account on my site. You're probably memeing though. Matt Walsh says women are too dumb to do math. Walsh appeals to incels with video claiming girl math is real. Alright, let me upload this segment really fast. For my power fucking dies. Nice. Segment is sending. That's not a good title, Malafors. Sorry. It's too long. Alright. Let's mark that off the list. Ooh, I got a good one for us next. Y'all are gonna like this one a lot. Really quickly, guys, I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick. I'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hopefully my stream does not get knocked out by a power outage while I use the bathroom. It'd be a frightening experience to be in my bathroom and for everything to go dark. But, yeah, I will be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. BRB. Alrighty. I have returned. Welcome to the site, new people. I can see your little clocks next to your names. Thumbnails GigaChad, thank you. Oh no, Zan's stream is down, oh no. I think I'm okay. My power's still on. I think we're alright. You've seen my lights flicker though, right? The lights flickering is freaky. I don't like that. The leaves outside aren't blowing yet, so it means the wind's not too fast here. But, man, I'm fucking worried. Stream just went down. It went down for a sec. I can still see. I haven't dropped any frames. I assume you guys are just trolling. It was fine for me? Yeah, I haven't dropped any frames or anything, so that might have just been YouTube's end. Any snow yet? Nope, not this year. Not so far. If by some cosmic coincidence you meet a fan in person, how would you want them to interact, if at all? I guess I just want them to be chill and be like, oh my god, Zan? Wait, are you Xanderhall? And I'd be like, yeah. Wait, do you know me? Are you a fan? And, I don't know, it'd be cool. I think I've ran into people who've recognized me, but weren't necessarily, like, super big fans or anything. They're just like, holy crap, it's Xanderhall. I recognize you. I've seen you. Like, your videos, and I recommended. And so I've had one or two... Ooh. I've had one or two interactions like that, yeah. You see that fucking flicker? It's getting scary, guys. It's getting scary. Whew. Alright. Where do you buy those scrolls? I'm interested. Amazon. I buy them on Amazon. Alright. Let me bring up the next segment.
Sorry!
Whoa. Jesus Christ. Alright. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. There aren't a lot of right-wing figures that I regard as outright evil. Many I call shameless, grifters, sad, pathetic. I've got a lot of words that I use to describe them, but very few do I call evil. Blair White, though, is one of them. Not only does she use her massive platform to spread hate, and hate against the group that she is a part of, for that matter, which is, of course, quite silly, but she also uses it to lie. Now, In politics, there's different kinds of lies. There are lies that people believe and repeat because it serves them. There are lies that people believe and repeat because it agrees with their ideas and they don't care to look into whether or not it's true because it's convenient if it is true. And then there are the lies that are spread knowingly and maliciously to fool others. And Blair White is that kind of liar. She is the third type that I just listed. One of the most insane cases of her being a liar has to be when she misquoted the Canadian Cancer Society, talking about cervical cancer being possible in trans women who've had bottom surgery because they have what's called a neocervix, and that region can get cancer, and you do have to get basically just a pap smear like a cis woman would get to check for cancer in that region. And a video had been made talking about how it's important for post-op trans women to get that occasional checkup, and Blair White framed it as ridiculous and crazy and something only claimed by trans people that are deluded into believing that it's possible for them to get cervical cancer. And then she shows a clipped sentence from the Canadian Cancer Society's website that seems to imply it would be crazy to think you needed to get a pap smear if you're a trans woman. But if you read past where she cut it off, it goes on to say, if, however, you are post-op and have had a neocervix created, you do need to get regularly checked. So she has literally spread dangerous, arguably deadly misinfo just to back up her worldview at this idea that trans people, young progressive trans people online, are deranged. And you know, she makes claims like, trans women, they think they can have periods and give birth and need to get pap smears. Like, it's this kind of mindset of, I'm one of the good trans people who understands that I'm actually a man. But all these trans people, the ones you really hate, they think they are biologically the gender they identify with. That's basically the line of attack she uses. And it's quite effective because when you're a member of a marginalized group, there are a lot of people who would naturally default to hating you. But if instead you make your entire identity hating the group you're a part of, those people will instead see you as a valuable tool to help destroy the rights and standing of the group you're a part of. You'll be a useful idiot for them, and it may, you know, in the perception of some people, be the safest route to go. Although for Blair White, it's very evidently just a, it's just a grift. She actually uploaded a video a few days ago, her newest one, called Woke TikTok is Losing It Over Trump's Election. So I imagine this is mostly just going to be her gloating about Trump's win and, celebrating how upset some, lefties on TikTok are. Once again, I must remind you, there is nothing that chuds love more than looking at the upsettedness of progressives. The left doesn't need conservatives to be triggered or angry or to argue with or troll in order to enjoy existing or to have a space. But the right cannot keep a space going without lefties to troll. It'll always end up becoming a niche little corner of the internet, like 4chan or any other type of far-right area of the internet. It just ends up becoming hyper niche. And so they end up having to chase the normies to the mainstream platform so they have someone to bully. And this is a good example of that tendency in action. Let's check out the video. I don't know how much of it we're going to be able to watch because Blair White is insufferable. Don't know how much patience I'll have, but let's try this.
I'm sorry! No! You're queer and your family voted for Trump like mine did. Hi, hello, I'm your mother now.
It's not giving mom. It's giving white dudes for Harris. It's giving child of Satan.
Great.
There was a time, by the way, when Blair White made a crying, literally crying apology about misgendering a trans YouTuber back in the day. Back before, the hateful grift was big. Let me see if I can find it. Blair White crying apology.
Riley's getting her first transition-specific surgery this month. So am I. We are basically at the same point in our transition, yet the internet and myself have participated in this false juxtaposition between me and Riley, that I was a real trans person. Riley was a fake trans person. And the truth is, we're almost at the exact same point in our transition. And I'm someone who's had my transition picked apart online. There have been Reddit threads and 4chan threads with hundreds of comments on it of people trying to prove that I'm not trans because I haven't done this or that, or, digging up my old pictures. And, I'm a strong person, I'm a happy person, but to sit here and pretend like it doesn't affect me at all would just be a lie. So
she's fully aware of what she's doing, and this is far from the first or last time she's made a crying apology like this after her own fans, because she still has a decent contingent of trans and LGBT fans, and back then especially a lot of makeup and beauty community fans and friends and stuff. So for a while she was actually held to account to some extent and couldn't let herself go too far. But as the right and like far right QAnon stuff has dominated the internet in recent years, she's fully shifted. Like she's literally probably fucked Alex Jones. Like it's basically confirmed that her and Alex Jones have fucked before. Obviously they've hung out a lot. She's fully behind Trump. She's gone from like crying about like making other trans people feel hurt and talking about how it makes her feel hurt when her identity is questioned, to now attacking her own identity and attacking the identity of as many other trans people as she can, because that's what's making her money. She fully sold her soul, and because her audience is so hateful now, she doesn't even have to pretend like she has good intentions anymore. She can fully lean into the, aggressive hate. Here, I don't care about the coming up section.
Coming up here, after talking about why I'm voting for X, and it's the person that lost, I mean, that would be sad. So I'm happy. I'm quite happy. But I would like to check in on the lovely libs and see how they feel after the election.
I'm sorry. No. Why?
That video doesn't look real, but I guess it could be. My advice would be don't upload a video of you melting down over the election results on the internet, I guess. Man, if y'all had come out and voted, this would have been the chuds right now, not us.
Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
That loogie? Oh my God. Did y'all see that? That was disgusting. There's something deeply unwell when an election even phases you this bad. First of all, I understand that if you're on the...
Remember, guys, a big part of conservative politics is to push the idea that politics don't really matter unless you're fighting against the woke. That the left's concerns and ideals for the country are completely hollow and meaningless, and that they just want to win team sports, and that it's actually the right fighting to save the country. It's a weird framing of, like, you've got the conservatives who play it up like they're heroes fighting against the woke mob, and you've got the conservatives like Blair White who play it up like they're centrists who just prefer Trump, and they're making fun of the fact the left takes the election so seriously, but it doesn't really matter. When the fact is, this election very much does matter. Trump is running on some very, very radical policies that are going to affect a lot of Americans. And so particularly if you're a person of color in this country, an immigrant or LGBT, yeah, you'd be kind of scared right now. The people who won are running on the idea of, like, erasing you, you know?
Losing end of an election, it's giving why. Like, last election, I definitely said why, right? However, not like that. And
yes, you guys did. You literally tried to coup the government. You tried to overturn the election results. A mob was sent by Trump to the Capitol on the day of the election result certification, and they delayed it by several hours by breaking into the Capitol. Multiple people died. They were armed. Countless of them were charged with felonies. Their only hope now is that Trump's going to give them all pardons. If he might not. It would be really funny if Trump didn't pardon any of them, because he just doesn't give a fuck about them. That would be a really big self-report about what Trump thinks of his own followers if he doesn't pardon the J6ers.
And if you really feel as though the rotating, like, every 4 years, new president, unless they get elected for a second term, is really going to affect and destroy your life like that, you've been lied to.
Guys, politics don't matter. The president doesn't matter. The left, they care too much about politics, and that's why you should be opposed to them. It's a classic method. She's carried this talking point since 2016.
You, sweetheart. You've been very much lied to. You've been very much propagandized. And unfortunately, not to interrupt,
I love the people who have all the money and platform on the internet and who have, like, the vast majority of propagandistic, like, content on their propaganda, saying that the people who are upset about Trump have been propagandized to. Meanwhile, like, the largest progressive spaces online are pretty niche compared to even your average right-wing space online. Elon owns Twitter right now, and she's like, you've been brainwashed. By who? By what? By where? Like, progressives are dropping CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, and MSNBC across the board. Like, are there any mainstream left-wing outlets that are accepted by the left anymore? Where is this brainwashing cult-like behavior coming from? This is a group of people who will never accept fault in Trump's actions, but will find any way to attack the left for any tangential association with a bad actor that they can identify.
Disney movie you're living in here, in your head. It is in fact not apocalyptic and not
Okay.
Did
Politics
you
doesn't
eat?
matter.
Did you take your meds? Did you breathe? Are you breathing?
You look like a fairy princess that resides over the pits of hell. And listen, I really don't. It's not giving mom. It's giving white dudes for Harris. It's giving child of Satan. It's giving bizarre man preying on people when they're emotionally vulnerable, which is the.
So yeah, a lot of her content these days is just calling trans people pedophiles to her audience. They obviously end up getting death threats and harassment for it, but as I've said many times, YouTube does not give any fucks whatsoever. They don't apply their rules anymore to anyone with enough subs to like, if you've got 1 million subs or more, there are no rules on YouTube.
The female base of the Democrat Party right now, and someone needs to bless you, bitch. It's just not.
It's so hard to watch with how annoying she is. I need you to know that, like, hundreds of thousands more people are watching her videos every day than even, like, the largest progressive figures, okay? And this is true of almost every conservative pundit you can think of. If you want this to change, you gotta hit that like button. You gotta comment. You gotta sub. You gotta engage with your favorite progressive content. If you want anybody to have a chance of countering this woman in the online space, it's on you guys. You gotta support. You gotta come out. You gotta come out in droves. Because trust me, Blair White's fans are. This video's got 4,000 comments and 19,000 likes. We gotta compete with that if we're getting anywhere. Is she the most popular trans YouTuber? Yes. If you're a young trans person online, Blair White will be the first person you gravitate towards and find. If you're looking to follow a successful large trans YouTuber, you will find Blair White first. That is why she is a fairly dangerous figure. A lot of young trans people are gravitating towards her as their go-to. Oh, my power might go out, guys.
See, I feel like I have this increased ability. Tell me if y'all who are getting a little bit on the older side, right? Because she is now 31. I feel like I just have an increased ability to detect demons. I feel like I can just see it now, right? And
Contra's bigger? Yeah, but Contra doesn't upload enough for YouTube to promote her stuff. Blair White has less subs, but because she uploads so much more often, YouTube is about 100 times more likely to recommend a Blair White video than a ContraPoints video. Keep that in mind.
It's all there, and I'm not even looking at the outward appearance. I'm looking deep in that.
Man, I miss when Blair White at least put in an effort to make an argument. Now it's just bullying. Like, I guess the only thing I could do in response to this is bully her, because, like, good lord, did she... I feel like any way I want to bully her, it's just going to be transphobic. But I feel like I could bully her really hard if I wanted to. Like, people would just consider it transphobic if I made fun of her appearance. But, like, dude, Blair White got way too much plastic surgery. I'm just going to say it. She looked pretty, like, 4 or 5 years ago. She was a pretty lady 4 or 5 years ago. And then, like, she just started getting more plastic surgery. And I think Botox, too, maybe. And now she's, like, her face is stretched to her skin, and her lips are like constantly in that pouty like mewing shape, and so she's not only kind of ugly now, but she is going to get extensively and exponentially uglier as she ages, because she is so vain that she overdid it. She went beyond transitioning and went full bimbo mode. Like, she got like, there's like a certain level of cosmetic surgery where it's like, okay, you pass now. Like, you're done transitioning. You're good. You did it. And if you keep doing it, you've gone from being like just trans to also being like a cosmetic surgery addict. And I think that's kind of what Blair White gives the vibes of.
Asking me if she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen. That's so sad.
I wonder if Blair's talking point is going to be, there's not going to be mass deportations, or if it's going to be, well, it's good if there are. I'm wondering what it's going to be.
And there is the moment where you proved yourself to be a failure. Why? Because any responsible daughter of a mother who genuinely is afraid like that and so irrationally is going to say something to comfort said mother and say, hey, he's deporting illegals. But then again, of course, you're hooked up to that propaganda machine. That is.
Okay, Donald Trump has specifically expressed that he wants to eliminate visas, visiting people being able to visit, and he wants to eliminate DACA. So people who technically have citizenship in this country and are not illegal immigrants would no longer have legal status in this country based on what Trump is running on. You'll see that a lot of the most popular conservative pundits make they get a lot of their support from pushing the idea that the left is over-exaggerating and over-worried about nothing, and that Trump is just going to be another random president in office for the next 4 years. No one's going to notice any differences, and the left is just overreacting. All the while, these people tried to overthrow the government when their guy lost 4 years ago. They had meltdowns and tried to get Biden arrested, Biden crime family, just nonstop like attacks on Biden that kept falling flat over and over and over again for the last 4 years because they were so upset about the results. And that all came after they tried to overthrow the government to overturn the results with violence. The attempts to like make these two things equal is just so shameless and sad. But it's such an effective strategy. These people do it across the board and people buy it. The idea that the left is overly concerned about politics is a depressingly successful and popular talking point. I really don't know how you counter it outside of just explaining, no, Trump's actually running on the idea of eliminating programs that would make currently legal citizens of the U.S. no longer have citizenship status. That is why far more than just undocumented immigrants in America are afraid of this outcome. Because when Trump was in office last time, DACA only survived by the skin of its teeth. I can't watch any more Blair White. Like I said, I've got a limited social battery, as Hassan would say, when it comes to Blair White. All right, I can't handle too much of her obnoxious, smug bullshit. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. I really do appreciate it. Every single thumbs up you can consider like casting a blue ballot for YouTube to, in real time, push my content in the algorithm to more new and old viewers alike. Same goes for comments as well. Likes and comments are massively appreciated. Thank you to everybody who does that. Same goes to everyone who goes out of the way to hit that sub button and turn on the notifications and ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video in the future. You can also follow my social medias linked down below in the description, including my fan Discord if you haven't already. My power flickered, lol. Oh, I'm scared, K-Deck. My fan Discord if you haven't already. At least once a week I host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties in my Discord. So make sure you join for that. And on top of that, if you want to support me directly, help me keep the lights on, funnily enough, no pun intended, and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live. Or, if you haven't already, consider leaving a kind comment and like, as I said before. Regardless, though, if you enjoyed this video, I hope to see you again, and as always, have a good one. Ugh, I don't know how much time we have left before my power goes out, guys. Let me go ahead and get that segment sent. What do y'all think? I feel like it came out pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I am sitting on a chair with a bomb strapped to it. In regards to this whole, power outage possibility thing. It's like any second, everything could just go black. Yeah, I'm on borrowed time, bro. Blair White has fallen fully to hate. Yeah, I think that's a good title. Blair White has fallen fully to hate. And then in parentheses, Blair White makes video gleefully attacking lefties upset Trump won and insults their appearance. All right. Upload that one real fast. Hopefully it sends quickly. Zan crowdsourcing segment titles is based. Some titles I come up with on my own, and I just want to hear what chat thinks of it. I feel like that title is a good one. What about Blair White lost her humanity? How Blair White lost her humanity goes crazy. Oh, shit. That would be a better title. How Blair White lost her humanity. Dude, that's crazy. That's a good title. How Blair White lost her humanity. That title fucks. I'm gonna cancel that upload. Go into File Explorer. And that I'll upload that version. Oh yeah, that one fucks. Not gonna lie, the concept of passing is so toxic. I get that, professional autist, but it's a useful term. Basically, just to refer to, like, if you're trans and you walked around, like, the streets of, you know, your average area anywhere in the country, would you be likely to get clocked as trans, or would you just get, like, referred to as the gender you identify as without a single second thought, right? I get the idea of it being toxic, but in a world where a lot of people are not pro-trans, there's value in not being clocked. Obviously, trans people live in a lot of fear. It's a dangerous life. And so being unclockable is a very valuable thing to a trans person for really a lot of reasons, but for no other reason than safety would be enough to consider it a valuable feature. But when people turn it into a toxic contest of who has reached a point where, like, they pass so well with the average person that they use it as, like, a superiority thing, like Blair does, that's when I think it gets objectively toxic. There are no positives to it there. It's really nice to not have to explain that I'm a she on a selfish level. Yeah, it's also got to be, like, validating to just get, like, she heard when you're a trans woman, right? Like, no one even thinks for a second, and they just immediately she her you. It's like, damn right I'm she her. Yeah, I imagine that's how it would probably feel. How long until Blair White gets deported? Unless you get to the point where most people start to think that gender doesn't matter at all, passing is going to be an important term. Yeah, I think it has value. It definitely has value. Man, that monster is... It gets to my bladder, dude. I broke the seal earlier. I gotta go use the restroom again. Empty my bladder. I've only got one topic left for us to cover today, and it's actually related to two different segments we've already done today, but we're going to be leaning hard into it. So I will be right back, guys. I've got a juicy segment left for you all. Hopefully we can finish it up and wrap up the stream without my power going out. That would go crazy. That would be awesome. Monster do be full of diuretics. Caffeine is a diuretic. It makes you have to pee. I will be right back, guys. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. I got some good stuff to talk about when I get back. All right. Thank you for your patience, guys. Like I said, if stream dies at any point before I'm able to wrap up with this last segment we're going to do, I apologize. But I have to say, I'm happy I've been able to get all but one segment done so far, so if we lose out on the last one, I can't be that upset. I even got the rest of the segments all sent to Ethan, so even if my power goes out, everything should be taken care of. Can't guarantee a stream tomorrow. I hope there is. I hope my power doesn't fuck. But, I'm gonna guess that it will eventually tonight. Let's see. Seattle weather. Let's check on it. Let's see how long I got. Seattle weather. Is the Twitter account gonna come up? Peak winds in the past hour. SeaTac had 46 mile an hour winds. Boeing Field had 39 mile an hour winds. Very localized winds. Got up to 52 at 5:47 p.m. West Seattle is apparently experiencing strong winds. Alright. Well, I still don't see wind. My power's flickered, but hopefully it survives a while longer. Oh, jeez. Alright, let me go into my history to find this article that I looked at earlier today. Here we go. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Well, guys, Donald Trump won, and the things that he promised are more likely than not coming. And there's not a lot of people that are going to exist in our government with the power to stop him, or slow him down even. Not for at least another 2 years if we have a midterm and can elect some Dems into the Senate and House. In the meantime, though, this is what you guys have to look forward to, or I should say to dread. The industries that could be the hardest hit by Trump's immigration crackdown. That's right, separate from even the deportations, the crackdown on immigration, legal immigration, is, among many other things, itself going to hurt our economy quite badly. And so experts are coming out to talk about what to expect and how badly the economy is going to be hit by Trump's crackdown on immigration. Just that. Not even counting his other economic policies projected to destroy the country's standing in the world economically. So these are the industries with the largest share of workers who are undocumented, thus will be deported if Trump does these mass deportations. As of 2022, mind you, so this is 2 years behind. Construction, nearly 14% of the industry are undocumented. 12% or 13% of the industry in agriculture, undocumented. Nearly 8% of the hospitality industry, undocumented. Nearly 7% of the general services industry, undocumented. Wholesale trade, about 6%. Transportation and warehousing, about 6%. Manufacturing, about 5%. Professional services, about 5%. Retail trade, about 4%. And mining and extraction, it's about 4% as well. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you found out that you had a 13 or 12 or even an 8% drop in productivity and workers, that's a big deal when any industry across the board like that experiences such a massive drop. And that's just an average. Some areas, the statistics are far higher, I imagine. And so certain localities would probably be hit by this extra hard in a way that the data wouldn't suggest would be so severe. President-elect Trump's vow to deport millions of undocumented immigrants could eliminate workers from U.S. industries already projected to face shortages and cut up to 6.8% of the national gross domestic profit. While undocumented laborers make up a relatively small percentage of the total U.S. workforce, they have outsized roles in fields like construction, agriculture, and hospitality. Construction and agriculture workforces had the highest shares of undocumented workers as of 2022, per the American Immigration Council. Among the undocumented workforce, 39% of plasterers and stucco masons, 36% of drywall installers, ceiling tile installers and tapers, 36% of roofers, and 31% of painters and paper hangers. 28% of graders and sorters for agricultural products were undocumented, as well as 25% of miscellaneous agricultural workers. That's actually fucking insane. Most U.S. voters, about 75%, said that undocumented immigrants mostly fill jobs that American citizens don't want, according to October Pew Research report. Industries like hospitality, service, healthcare, construction, and agriculture would face labor shortages without immigrant labor, according to Center for Migration Studies. So it seems that the consensus is that even if we do these deportations, it's not like American citizens will come in and take up the work instead and will experience like a drop in unemployment or whatever. No, in fact, Americans just aren't taking these jobs, and so there's just going to be a massive vacuum in labor here. A one-time operation to deport undocumented immigrants would cost at least $315 billion, according to an October report from the American Immigration Council. Mass deportations could lead to a loss of about 4.2% to 6.8% of annual GDP, per the report, amounting to between $1.1 trillion and $1.7 trillion. For comparison, the national GDP declined 4.3% during the 2007 through 9 Great Recession. Mass deportations would also bring a heavy human toll. About 4 million mixed-status families could be separated, affecting 8.5 million U.S. citizens with undocumented family members. It could slash the incomes of their households by an average of nearly 63%, or about $51,000 per year, the report found. From 2003 to 2022, unauthorized immigrants made up a relatively narrow range of all U.S. workers, between 4% and 5.4%. That was only... that was from 2003 to 2022, it was like nothing then. And in the last few years, the amount of labor provided by immigrants has gone up substantially. So, holy crap. Years ago, it was already true that, getting rid of immigration would destroy our economy. It's even more true now than it was back then, and by magnitude so. This is bad if Trump actually goes through with this. Really bad. This number is higher than the 3.3% of unauthorized immigrants in the total U.S. population because most undocumented people in the U.S. are workforce age, per Pew. Context. Trump's deportation plans would use obscure laws, military funds, and law enforcement officers from all levels of government to deport millions of people. They would fast-track deportations and would be expanded to apply to anyone who illegally crossed the border and couldn't prove they'd been living in the U.S. for more than 2 years. Currently, they're just for recent crossers encountered near the border. So Trump could obviously expand this, but right away, it's already built in such a way where if you haven't been here or can prove you've been here for 2 or more years, they can get you right away. Trump's proposals would also curb legal immigration and limit asylum seeking, the New York Times reported. He repeatedly tried to restrict access to asylum during his first term. Trump on Monday said that he will declare a national emergency and use the U.S. military to carry out these mass deportations. This month, he tapped Tom Homan, the former acting head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, as border czar for the next term, as he calls him the border czar. Homan, who had a role in the controversial family separation policy during Trump's first administration, has been a strong supporter of Trump's mass deportation plans. He also led the deportation branch within immigrations and customs enforcement under former President Obama. Here is what this entire situation will hopefully do. Hopefully, a lot of Americans are going to be impacted by this in the worst way possible, whether it be because of the economy or because someone close to them or someone that is close to them experiences their family being removed from the country. And I hope that the American people see this happen and they realize that it was never an over-exaggeration. It was never being just crazy triggered libs. It was always just believing Trump when he told us what he was. What's so depressing about all this is that Latinos, in particular, make up a pretty decent proportion of immigrants in this country, particularly undocumented immigrants. And so the fact that that demographic experienced such a significant shift towards Trump compared to voting for Biden in 2020, it goes to show that even with the knowledge, or at least with the point that Trump would or might do this out there, a lot of Latinos, many of which have family or friends or maybe know someone who's undocumented or know someone who knows someone who's undocumented, still voted for Trump. Hell, we watched that segment earlier today that was about a guy who is undocumented, a immigrant living in Houston, Texas, who supports Trump. He didn't vote for Trump, but he supports Trump. And even if he gets deported, he said he will go quietly, he will accept it, he will not argue, and he will not regret supporting Trump if he gets deported by him. Because, as he said, he just wants what's best for America. Genuinely, how can you be so cucked that you would vote for a guy that wants to deport you just because you think he will make the country that he'll deport you from more economically prosperous? It goes to show that the rhetoric against the Dems has gotten so inflamed and so popular and so normalized that groups that are actively being attacked will vote for the group attacking them because they've been brainwashed so effectively into opposing, in this case, the Dems. And don't get me wrong, we talked about it earlier. There is some racism, some sexism that's more common that might have played a factor into it. But I think a lot of it is really just the fact that most Americans, even within the like Latino demographic, don't really give a shit if countless Latino Americans end up getting deported from this country, separated from their families, if they lose their work, or if there ends up being a massive vacuum in employment and it results in a massive drop in economic viability for our country. They don't care. They've been bribed with something that sounds it's too good to be true, but it sounds too good to not vote for. And they voted for it anyway. And I don't know what we can do besides try to reach as many people as possible and show them what Trump is doing over the next 4 years and how he's not helping you, or helping them, in order to change their mind. And to, of course, relentlessly bully them for the stupidity of their vote or their support of Trump if they did. Can you do that in time? And wouldn't the Republicans try to stall like they did in 2016? I think it was. Here's the thing. The GOP is far more MAGA now than it was back in 2016. And 2020. In the last 4 years, the Republicans have realized that MAGA is what wins more reliably for Republicans than anything else. And so they are hard leaning into that. There are very few never Trump, not MAGA Republicans in office. They exist, but man, Trump's not going to have a lot in his way. Like, I don't know if guardrails can do anything when there's no one in our government that's going to be willing to hold him to account for anything. He'll shut down entire departments that try to investigate him or hold him to account for things. He's got that power. So I don't know how this is going to go. Zan, Mississippi is so cooked under Trump. I think every red state is cooked under Trump, Green Moon 2040. I don't know, man. Listen, if you're undocumented or know someone who is undocumented, don't snitch. Don't talk about it. Don't text about it. It is a secret that you should consider the utmost of secrets going forward. You don't talk about it, not to friends, not to partners, not to family, not to trusted people. You don't text about it, especially. You don't talk about it on video or call. None of that. Do not be the person who accidentally gets a friend or family member deported. Because Donald Trump, I think he might mean it. I think he might mean it about this whole deportation thing, unless they're a Trump supporter. If they supported Trump, then make sure everyone knows. In that case, make sure everyone knows. Report them to ICE yourself if they supported Trump, obviously. Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this segment, if you thought it was entertaining, educational, informational, anything like that, consider dropping a like. Every single thumbs up can be considered like casting a blue ballot for YouTube to push my content in the algorithm to both new and old viewers alike. And of course, if you want to support me even further, you can leave a comment as well. Likes and comments combined are massively appreciated. Thank you to everybody who does that. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias linked down below, but especially make sure to hit the sub button and ring the bell icon so YouTube tells you when I go live or upload. And if you want to see more from me on my Discord server, like be able to talk to me and be part of events, make sure you join my Discord, link down below in the description. It's the main hub of my fan base and community and totally free to join. In fact, once a week I host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties there, so make sure you join if you want to be there for that. And finally, if you want to support me directly financially and you can afford it, and you want to help me keep a roof above my head and the lights on here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you all so much for watching as always, and have a good one. Woo! Yes! Dude, we literally finished all the segments without the internet, or not the internet, the power going out from the storm. We did it, dude. We did it. Maybe it can even get sent in time. Trump's, I think a good title would be Trump's, oh no, the mass deportations will be disastrous. Ooh, what's a better word? The mass deportations will be... brutal. That's a good one. The mass deportations will be brutal. Reading an article about how Trump's mass deports will hurt the economy because no workers. There we go. And boom, now it's sending. Let's go. It's taken a while to send, though. I don't like that. That wasn't that long of a segment, I feel. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was a pretty short segment. Ugh. That's scary how long that's taken to send. Hopefully it doesn't mean, like, my fucking internet is dying or something. We made it, but just barely. Well, we still gotta wait for the segment to send, because it might not make it. Who knows? Power could go out. Still. But, listen guys, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming out today. There's been immense support on the stream. I'm sorry that I have to wrap things up somewhat early tonight due to the storm. I do not want the stream to get cut out early, so I'll probably be wrapping up in a few moments. I definitely, while I still have internet, want to download some music and videos on my phone because I don't have service on it. I haven't switched over service to it from my old phone yet, which broke, so I can't use that one. So I want to download some stuff on there while I've got internet too, because I have a feeling the power's going out, and I'm going to be hella bored when it does. So, gonna get some music, gonna get some YouTube videos, some stuff to listen to. It's gonna be nice. Wish me luck in this storm, guys. I really hope y'all have enjoyed this stream so far, and I appreciate you guys for the support immensely. As a matter of fact, I feel now would actually be a really good time to check how the channel's doing. We are indeed now at 97,205 subscribers. Hell to the yeah, dude. Hell to the yeah. That's what I like to see. Oh shit, what the heck? All right. What's the plan for 100k subs? Probably going to be playing my first Sonic game on stream. That's my plan. It might not be right away, but it'll be pretty quickly after I hit 100k subs. Oh, Zan, are you going to put the play button on your back wall? Yes, I am. I'm thinking I'll probably put it, like, right there, so it's always, like, in the background behind my head. Because otherwise, if I put it, like, there, my head will cover it up, and you won't see it unless I move. Anyway, guys, before my power gets fucking cut out... Oh, excuse me. I'm going to dip out. Listen, I love you all very much. Your support is immensely appreciated, as always. And, yeah, I really don't know what else to say. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for the likes, the donos, the kind words, and, of course, the views. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Let's hope I still have power tomorrow around stream time. All right, guys. Have a good one. And wish me luck. Bye!